gone, nothing can matter at all. Did you think?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Modern Day Debate. Tonight we're going to be debating flat versus globe, and to get us started, we have Ross Real Offended to get us going. So, Ross, you have up to 10 minutes, and the floor is all yours.
No problem. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if you don't mind.
Sure thing.
Let's see. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My screen is visible, I'm assuming.
Yep, you're up and running.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. As you know, I like to keep things as simple as possible. That way the people in the back can understand. As I am famous for saying, obviously it's not me that said this, but if you can't explain something simply, then you really don't understand it. So I have, in my past debates, thoroughly proven that these first 2 points in my main point section, the Earth not revolving around the sun and the Earth being the center of the cosmos, I've proven that these two things are virtually undebatable. Ironically, on the backs of the two gentlemen that I'm debating tonight, I've proven these two things on the backs in the debates with these two gentlemen. I have Ozien himself quoted saying that he would not have accepted Einstein's special theory of relativity when it was first proposed, and that's because he's an honest man and he values science. And so I feel I've already belabored these points. We can touch on these slightly if you guys would like to, but again, we've already had 6 debates, me and Craig, and he owes me $120,000 now because unlike most people, Craig will just say anything and bet anybody anything. So Craig has bet me in the midst of losing a debate on these first 2 points that we have real pictures of the Earth. He has not. I promise I wasn't gonna. I said I'm just gonna mention it. All right, we don't have to talk about that again. But he does owe me the money. All right. So, but that, like I said, the Earth not moving around the sun, right, via the Eddington experiments, Einstein's special theory of relativity being basically fraudulent in itself, not being a scientific theory ever. Okay, so I think it's time we can move on from those. I mean, like I said, I want to try something a little bit different today. I'm getting a little bit bored, so let's move on to this third point for this debate. That's what I personally want to focus on. Again, if you guys want to go back to these first 2 points, I will more than oblige. So I tried to give you guys the answer to the test in my very first debate. My point number 3 is, and has always been, the surface of the Earth is either not curved or it's bigger than we have claimed. And if we have time, we can move on to point number 4, but I don't think we'll make it there. So let's deal with number 3. The surface of the Earth is not curved, or it has to be bigger than it is claimed based upon the radius value. All right. So let's start off with, what do we know for sure? Okay. What are the things that cannot be argued that we all agree on? All right. Well, number 1, the sky is a clock. All right. The sky tells us the time of the day it is. It tells us what day of the week it is. It tells us what week of the month. It tells us what time of the year we're in. And guess what? The sky is even counting the years for us. Why would it be doing that? It just, for no reason, it's counting the years, telling us what year we're in. Well, I mean, let's explore some options. All right. So obviously earth.com, right? The North Pole is moving at a dangerous pace. What does that mean? The North Pole is moving at a dangerous pace. Magnetic north is shifting fast. What will happen to the northern lights? Okay, so as I said, the sky is a clock. We know this. And something as simple as the precession of the equinox is helping us not just keep track of the calendar year we are in, but it is helping us keep track of geography, ironically. So again, like I said, this is not anything that's arguable. Magnetic north is shifting. It's not where it used to be. So not only is this, I will let you know how it's proof of my point, but it's also proof that we don't have any accurate maps. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have one accurate map. All right. And I will show you, I mean, irrefutable proof of that. Again, like I said, magnetic north is shifting. What does that mean for these maps, right? What does that mean? In every map, all the old maps, there are land masses that are there, some that are gone. You know what is consistent in all those maps? The Tropic of Cancer, the equator, and the Tropic of Capricorn. All right. Why is the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer named the way that it's named? It's because when those latitudes were named, this is according to Wikipedia, by the way. Okay, so this is not even part of it, right? But we all agree on this. When this line of latitude was named in the last centuries BC, the sun was in the constellation Copernicus at the December solstice, and also the same thing for the constellation when it's at the summer solstice in Cancer. Okay, this was over 2,000 years ago. All right, when these things were named. That's why the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn are where they are. Okay. Now, what does Google tell us? At the June solstice on June 21st, the sun is in front of the constellation Taurus. Hold on. So the solstice is supposed to be what constellation? Excuse me, the tropics are supposed to be what constellation the sun is in front of during the solstice. So they're not in front of Copernicus where they were, or Cancer. It's actually in front of Taurus. All right. So that means on this map, where the sun actually allegedly, right? Because we don't even know if this is the real map, where the sun is supposed to be at the equator, it's actually not. It's not there anymore. This is, like I said, this is based upon Wikipedia and Google. All right. This is a visual representation of that. All right. So we are in the age, or when the maps were made, allegedly, right? We were in the age of Aries. Okay. So that means that our tropics would have been at Cancer and Capricorn. Okay. But there is a 1 degree shift every 72 years. Okay. So that means that after every basically 2,160 years, okay, we leave the age of Aries and we go to the age of Pisces. Okay. And then another 2,000 years, we go to the age of Aquarius. And that means that the northern tropic would not be in Cancer. It would be in Gemini after 2,000 years of us being in the age of Aries. And then after that, where would it be? It would be in the age of Taurus. So what does Google say again one more time? Where are we at on June 21st? Oh, wow. We're in the age of where the solstice is in Taurus. So that would mean that the actual equator should not be right here, technically where the age of Aries is. It should be closer to the age of Aquarius. Definitely past the age of Pisces. And guess what? They said that these maps were made over 2,000 years ago, just on Wikipedia. So there's really no telling where the actual path of the sun is moving above our known quote unquote Earth. All right. So this is not really up for debate. I would love for you guys to become a science denier this early. Ryan, please let me know when I have just a few minutes left.
Yeah, you still have 2.5.
Again, this is another visual. Huh?
Sorry, you still have 2.5 minutes.
All right. So again, this is a visual representation of where the sun would be when we're in the age of Aries, but we're not in the age of Aries anymore. So that means that the actual equator is probably closer to this way. All right. So we can talk, like I said, this is just a fact, right? That lets you know that our map is 100% incorrect. All right. So what do they tell us? They say that, well, the reason why the sun is further away from us because we're at a tilt, right? The sun is leaving us because it's on a tilt, right? But what do I say? I say that the reason why the sun is leaving us is because the sun is going to the outer lands that exist. That's right, the outer space. Anybody that studied Admiral Byrd knows that he claimed that there are lands bigger than the size of the United States on the other side of quote unquote Antarctica. Okay. And where did we get this map from? I've alluded to this a few times on here, but you know where we got this map? The same place that we got the sky clock. We got the map from looking at the moon. Because if you take the moon and you make it a negative image, it somehow turns into a map. And guess what's on that map? Every single pretty much continent and some quote unquote missing continents that we have in our current map on Earth. All right. This is a visual representation of how that works. Just like that. All right. And this video goes in depth. Excuse me. This video goes in depth and points out the land masses down to the rivers and the tropics, the time zones. Absolutely everything is present in this map. All right. So what does this mean? Okay. This means that as the sun is moving away from our known lands into the outer lands, we will experience an ice age. And I have to let you know that the first place that I even heard about this idea was listening to Lawrence Krauss. And he had a scientist from Harvard on his show that was talking about how every 2,000 to 3,000 years we experience an ice age. And their claim is that because we're moving too far away from the sun. Well, in reality, it's not that we're moving too far away from the sun. It's that the sun is going to the other parts of the earth that exist and is going to brighten up those areas. Very simply put. All right.
All right, that's time. So yeah, we will carry into our next speaker. But thank you so much, Real Offended, Ross, for your introductory statement there. So we'll end the screen share. I think I can do it on my side here. There we go. All right, so we'll go back to our main screen, and we're going to hand it on over to you, Iron Horse. You have up to 10 minutes to make your introductory statement.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan, and thanks for having me back on Modern Day Debate. Thanks to my opponents for laying their necks on the flat chopping block for more punishment. Good to meet you, champ, with the great name of many former great kings and brave explorers, Ross. And thanks, of course, to all the audience members keeping the chat alive. Reminder that I don't read comments whilst live, so remember to use the super chat feature if you have something you'd like to bring to my attention. The topic of this debate has been doing the rounds for many years now, and obviously it's not going to go quietly into the night. Science itself is a constantly evolving process, and anyone who thinks it's settled might be confusing you with the nature of standing bodies of water. Indeed, the flat Earth model can be easily demonstrated in the classroom with something as simple as solid objects used to represent the continents in a tray with higher edges. Simply drench the continents with liquid water, and eventually all the water will settle into the container, leaving the dry land exposed above the water level. Such a model is impossible to replicate for the globe, where they appeal to nothing but special pleading and unproven assumptions, made up forces of dubious but necessary impossibilities, breaking all known and observable laws of physics as they simultaneously reinvent them in accordance with personal beliefs and incredulity. On the stationary plane of Earth, water has a simple and unified direction of motion, whereby it only ever flows downhill unless forced through enclosed pipes. All rivers are basically open-air conduits where all water demonstrably flows downhill only. For example, the mighty Nile River travels some 4,000 miles from the highest point at Lake Victoria, with a total elevation drop of just 1.6 miles. Yet the globe demands it would be well over 200 miles of curvature that the water must flow up and over. And again, I remind you that it must do so with just over 1.5 miles of drop, an absurdity so great that it should end the debate right there. And let us not forget there's just one of many rivers defying the curve of the globe, found all across the whole wide world, laughing directly in the face of the religious spinning spaceball cultists like the merry glee of babbling brooks glistening their way to the sea. The simple fact we have clouds destroys the heliocentric indoctrination. They can and do move multiple independent directions at various heights, sometimes wafting gently, sometimes roaring fiercely. Yet the irony of a storm hitting the land at 180 miles per hour and flattening villages and forests is that such a wind is moving just 1/5 that of perfectly still air. Solution? Just gloss over it and don't think about it. The Glove Brigade often deny their own model by describing their slower speed at just 0.000694 RPMs, which is quite correctly half the speed of the hour hand of a clock. However, they're so confused by their tiny toy model globes that they've lost all sense of proportion and don't realise that size actually does matter. If one were to build a clock with hour hands of the radius of the globe, the tip of the hand would be an invisible blur, and about a third of the way towards the centre, the hand would be breaking the sound barrier like a supersonic jet. And about halfway in, a passenger airliner would be struggling to keep up. Half it again, and a Formula One race car is moving top speed to keep up. Yet at just 6 inches from the centre of the clock face, it's still moving exactly 0.000694 RPMs, or 15 degrees per hour. Which brings me to my final argument for the moment, the motion of the sun. Science must always remain free from personal biases and presuppositions. So when a scientist insists he finds it preposterous to assume that the Earth could be the centre of the universe, he's no longer doing science. If he presupposes the globe and performs experiments to measure its size, the results would be identical to another scientist who presupposes a stationary planar Earth with a nearby local sun going around the equator on the equinox. Therefore, both have measured the size of the equator, both agreed it's a little shy of 25,000 miles, but the philosophy behind their calculations is inspired from completely different presuppositions. So in order to determine which is most correct, we must deduct all that is which is ridiculous and impossible until that which remains must be the truth. We've already predetermined that water cannot and will not flow up and over hundreds of miles of curvature, irrespective of cardinal directions, since curvature drop must be equal in every direction, give or take some slight oblate spheroidity. We've determined that clouds cannot be wafting in any and every direction if the atmosphere is moving through the void of space with the Earth. And if you think the supersonic speed of the jet is slower than the hour hand of a clock, get this, the helios demand that they're spinning spaceball within orbit around the sun. I challenge the listener to quickly search for a video of a railgun projectile that is moving some fantastic speed of about Mach 8 as it slices right through reinforced concrete and solid steel plating. Super slow motion photography is required just to see what happens faster than the blink of an eye, yet we must be forced to believe that those wafting clouds are moving 10 times faster than that projectile just to keep up the appearance of being perfectly still. Yet the little old lady is still trying to get that fly, as next thing you know, she's swallowing a horse, assuming we follow the sun, moving about 90 times the speed of that projectile. Oh yeah, she's dead, of course. Then consider the stationary planar Earth model, where the sun goes daily once around the equator, getting higher and lower to create seasons either side of it, where the absence of absurd speeds and missing curvature is exactly as we witness, where no extra forces are required to be fabricated and taught to innocent young minds, yet capable of processing the magnitude of the lies and grow to become adults willfully defending their masters, who've openly admitted that they manipulated our education in order to produce a nation of willing workers. Smart enough to operate the machinery, but not so smart they might think through the deceit, too concerned with putting food on the table and educating their children to believe in even greater absurdities. Until now, in this age of information, when finally the truth can be hidden no longer. Earth is the physical base of the universe, and for all we know, it might be potentially infinite. However, what purpose would it serve our masters if we were free to explore beyond Antarctica and perhaps find plantations with better living conditions, less poverty and crime, and true freedom beyond mere propaganda slogans? I won't be holding my breath in expectation of my opponents bringing any credible evidence to this debate that hasn't already been destroyed by sheer common sense and absence of absurdities that any seeker of truth doesn't need to have forced upon them. Truth is much like water. You can be shown all the evidence in the world, but no one can make you drink it. As the great Kung Fu master Bruce Lee once said, be like water. Or as Arnie said, I'll be back. Thank you.
All right, well, that would be the introduction from the flat side, so we're going to reset our timer and get it on to the other side here. I want to remind everybody that Modern Day Debate is a neutral platform hosting debates on science, politics, and religion. We hope you all feel welcome here and are having fun so far with the debate. I'm going to start a poll in just 1 minute, so keep an eye out for that in the live chat. But as Iron Horse said, yes, if you do have questions for any of our speakers, we do take super chats at the end, so if you get them in now, they'll be read with priority. And we appreciate all your support here at Modern Day Debate. So, Ozien, you have up to 10 minutes, and the floor is all yours.
All right.
Thanks for being here.
I muted my stuff. Yeah. I'm going to share a screen here.
Yeah, sure thing.
All right. Earthing Flat presentation's over. No, I have a little bit more to do with that. So I'm going to talk about, hey, the Earth rotates. I want to go over just 2 parts of that. Day and night cycle can be explained if the Earth is a globe. Geometry just doesn't work on a flat Earth unless you resort to some bizarre explanation for how light travels in odd shapes. However, it works perfectly with the distant sun and rotating Earth.
1 second there, Oz. I'm sorry to cut you off. There's a weird sound coming through. Does anybody else hear that? That cling?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, let me
just waiting to see if that's... Yeah, it's coming through from someone's audio, not mine. So I did pause your timer, but let's just try to carry on. But if any of you can isolate what that is, I'll just put you on the mute just in case it's you there, Craig. But no, I asked you to unmute. Okay, you got it. All right. You still got 9.5 minutes. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't messing with you. So 9.5 on the floor, and let's carry on.
Yeah. It should be muted. I muted in my headphones too. So, anyway, so there we go. The day and night cycle can only be explained if the Earth is a globe. The geometry just doesn't work on a flat Earth unless we resort to some bizarre explanation for how light travels in odd shapes, bendy light. However, it works perfectly with the distant sun and rotating Earth that orbits that sun, as highlighted here in this universe sandbox simulation of Antarctica for 2024. Hopefully, Jaron and Witsit will be going for Antarctica to witness that 24-hour sun and put this whole thing to bed because it's absurd. We already have videos, of course. Thank you, Mr. Beast. Another nail in the coffin for this whole absurd claim that the Earth is flat. Certain stars are only visible. People in the southern hemisphere should know this. Up to certain latitudes, such as Kochab, you can only view it up to 16 degrees south because it's 16 degrees north of the celestial northern center. What do you call it? The northern celestial pole, and then you have the southern celestial pole. And then you have Capella, which is 45 degrees from the northern celestial pole, Deneb, which is 62 degrees from the northern celestial pole. And then you go to the opposite hemisphere and they disappear when you go so many degrees away on a flat Earth. That just would not happen. They shouldn't magically disappear when you go 62 degrees south. Shouldn't disappear. Nothing, and this isn't even star trails. And this is at those latitudes on any part of the Earth. Same thing in the southern hemisphere at 3 stars. At Crux at 14 degrees south, Canopus at 45 degrees south, and at Churnar at 61 degrees south. You can go do this test yourself. Here's another thing. Southern Crux people talk about. It's 27 degrees from the southern celestial pole. That means in the Florida Keys, you can see the southern crux. That means, yeah, up here in the United States of America, we can actually see the southern crux certain times of the year. But you can't see them in South Carolina because they disappear, because they're blocked by the curvature of the Earth. So those are my 2 globe proofs. So, and with that, so we're not moving around the sun. Of course, we're moving around the sun. Center of the cosmos. Anything's considered center of the cosmos. Surface not curved. What are you talking about? Sky is a clock. Sky's not a clock, but we, like I showed you before, we use the day and night cycle to determine the time of the day. Yes, that only works on the globe. Magnetic north. What you forgot about is magnetic south. Magnets, there are monopole magnets, but the Earth is a dipole magnet. We have a magnetic south because guess what? The Earth is a globe, and we've done surveying with dip compasses. Been done a long time ago. As you go past the equator, the dip compass actually levels out and then dips the other way when you go past the equator. Because guess what? The Earth is a globe. So and yes, it is shifting because the Earth is rotating and the mantle is changing. Oh, guess what? Because the Earth is a globe. Naming the lines of latitude. Who cares? Taurus is moving. Yes, it is. 10.3 seconds of arc a year. Guess why that is? Because the Earth is orbiting the sun. And our solar system is moving around the galactic center. Oh, yes. That's why that stuff changes. And that's why that stuff's shifting. Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica. Antarctica is huge. You showed a map. You said it was the Earth. You know what that is? That is an image of the moon, Ross. You showed an image of the moon where the colors were inverted to make it look green, to make it look like the Earth. And you said it was the Earth. That was the moon, Ross. The moon, Ross. And let's go to Iron Horse. Okay, model of the Earth in the classroom, dirt or water. Come on, dude.
All
We're
right.
talking about the Earth.
He's just coming back in right now. He dropped out for a second there. I'll just let you know, though, I know you're using a new microphone. I paused the timer again. It seems to be breaking like some sort of noise gate when you speak loudly. It's cutting your audio like
I'll
really
cut down
low.
I'm getting excited.
I'm sorry to ask you that. Yeah, it's cutting your audio right out. So yeah, you still got 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the floor. Iron Horse is back in the room, so let's carry on.
Yeah. I'm just spending my 10 minutes. Here we go. You deny gravity. Mass attracts mass. Cavendish experiment. Very easy test. You can do it yourself. You have weight. Your weight changes based upon your latitude on Earth and your elevation from Earth. You can test it yourself. And the Eötvös effect when you travel east or west because of, guess what? Not Coriolis, excuse me, because the Earth is rotating. The Eötvös effect. Get on a plane, get a scale. You can measure how the weight of something changes because the Earth is rotating. All this stuff can be proven. Absurd claims that you don't test and test yourself. Curvature is not elevation. I can't believe you said that. Rivers go up. It's absurd claims. Straw man claim, lying about the globe. Ross, you're better than this. Curvature is not elevation. You're absurd, dude. Rivers don't go uphill over curve. It's not elevation change. Stop lying, Ross. That your claim is absurd. Confused about the movement at the equator. Oh yeah, you're talking about the Earth spinning. Okay, yeah. So when we're talking about the Earth rotating at the equator, it's like 1,076 miles per hour. It's really 15 degrees per hour. At the North Pole, you know how fast it is? 0 miles per hour. You know how fast it is at the South Pole? 0 miles per hour. 0 miles per hour. Zero. It's still 15 degrees per hour, but it's 0 miles per hour at the North and South Pole. And you know how fast the speed of sound is in the vacuum? 0, because sound doesn't travel in the vacuum. Thank you very much. There is no Mach speed in the vacuum, Ross. Sound doesn't travel in the vacuum. No Mach speed. Infinite land? Are we kidding here? Infinite lands? Infinite land. Infinite physical things is just an absurd concept. Even like modern cosmology, there might be infinite nothingness. What does that even mean? But our modern cosmological concept, the Big Bang cosmology that we currently understand today, land of CDM, which is cold dark matter, and dark energy, that's our current model, is finite because it is 93 billion light years across. It's something like 13.8 billion light years to get here. But because of dark energy, it's expanding quicker. The math comes out where the universe is like 46 billion light years of expansion. Multiply times 2, it comes out to like 93 billion light years. Hey, but that's it. That's the claim. So you just don't understand the claim when you said the Nile River goes up over curvature. No, it doesn't. The elevation of if the Earth was all water, just pure water, and didn't rotate to get a bulge, there would be no up. Like the elevation would be 0. And that's it. Thank you so much. Toss it over to Craig.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your introductory statement there. I'll just go ahead and end the screen share and pop us back to our main screen. Oh, see, I got two mice when that happens, right? So it gets a little bit dicey. All right, so we're back to our main screen. We're going to hand it over to Craig, and we just opened up the poll. So far, we got 54% say the Earth is a globe. So it's currently winning at 54% a globe. 35% say it's flat, and then 12% said it's a halo world. I need a weapon. All right. Let's carry into Craig's opening statement as you guys participate in that live poll. So go ahead there, Craig.
Hey, thank you for having me. My name is Craig. I run the YouTube channel FTFE, where I explain to grown adults what up and down is, just as Ozien did. Yeah, I've got 2 degrees, one in physics, one in engineering. So I know what I'm talking about. And, you know, when flat earthers tell me that I'm a science denier and don't understand physics, I laugh. I really do. So what Ross just did was gave a bunch of strawman claims of the globe with zero evidence of flat Earth. I just want everyone to realize that in the presentation between the two flat earthers, there was exactly zero evidence that the Earth is flat. Yet in the 10 minutes that Ozien just had, he presented a bunch of evidence of the Earth being a globe and rotating. So it's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to carry on doing what Ozien did and show evidence that the Earth is a globe and that it rotates. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen, is show this. So this is FTFE. Just make one sec to make sure it's up on my screen as well. Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, you're up and running. You still have 9 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, just one sec. I need to make sure that my side is seeing it as well. My bad.
Yeah, I'll just pause the timer for a second there while you get
Right,
your...
okay, no, good. Right, okay, so this is FTFE, all right? FTFE is the software that pilots, all international pilots, use to plan and conduct their flights. I mute the sound because it's got right music and stuff in. But this is the guy that helped create it and talks about the system on FTFE. And this is literally, as pilots are in their plane, what they see when they are planning their routes. They use the globe. It has all the routes, and this is actually physically what they use when they are planning their flights and conducting their flights. So whenever a flat earther says anything silly like, oh, pilots know the Earth is flat, they would need to explain why this is what pilots have in their cockpit during their flight, showing them where they are going, what their route is, how it's been planned, where they need to stop for fuel, all the other flights that are going on in the world at the same time, all the airports. This is what the pilots see. Not a flat plane, not a flat map. This is what the pilots use. It's called FTFE. It is the software that pilots use specifically to navigate airplanes around the place we live. If that's what they're navigating around, then I'm going to go with the pilots that do that navigating and believe them when they tell me that the Earth is a globe. However, there is a few videos of pilots saying, yeah, the Earth is flat. That's because all pilots think flat earthers are idiots and love laughing at them when they ask stupid things like, do you have to dip the nose down? So it's cool. So yeah, this is what pilots use. Everyone, please pay attention to what shape that is. It's not flat. It is a globe. Pilots know the Earth is a globe. Next thing I want to talk about is radar horizon. Planes use radar. So do other things use radar. Radar is, it's an electromagnetic signal that goes out and then bounces off something and comes back. We can use radar to do things like, where is it? Measure the distance to the sun, which was done in 1966. And here's a paper written about it in 1969. I can provide the details of the radar distance studies to the sun if anyone likes. But yeah, so we can measure the distance to the sun, which just happened to turn out to be 93 million miles, which means there's no reason why radar would randomly just cut off, because we know it can measure 93 million miles. Which brings me to the question that I would ask flat earthers is, why is there such thing as a radar horizon? Because there is a circle around something that is using a radar, be it a ground station, be it a plane in the sky. There is an equidistant circle around that point where the radar cannot see anymore unless there's stuff up in the sky. It gets cut off at the ground for some strange reason. Now, we know that radar is line of sight. If there's something there, it can see it. There's no reason it would randomly stop, because it can go further in the sky than it can on the ground. So let's say, for instance, a plane is, up at its height. A radar would be able to see that plane further away than it would the ground because of the radar horizon, because the plane is further in the air. There's no explanation for this if the Earth is flat. There's no reason why higher things should be seen more if the Earth is flat with radar. There's no reason why there would be an equidistant circle around a radar where the radar cannot see anything. The only explanation for that is that it is on a spherical surface. And luckily enough, here is a website talking about electronic warfare and radar systems, clearly showing about how radar works with the curve of the Earth, including all the equations and formulas, and talking about radar, aircraft and altitude and how far they would see. So radar absolutely 100% proves that the Earth is a globe and not flat. Ross and Ross both talked about the nonsense of extra lands, right? So I'm done with radar stuff. That's no. The next thing I'll talk about is how Ross and Ross both spoke about extra lands, right? They both, and I think Ross one said it about Captain Cook, and how he'd said there was extra lands. Well, first off, Captain Cook never said that. In fact, Captain Cook voyages are extremely well documented. Over a few years, he traveled, tens of thousands of miles. But it wasn't just around Antarctica. It was pretty much around, all of the known Earth at the time. He never said that there is more lands beyond Antarctica, meaning that after he went around Antarctica, he knew where it was. He just knew that the other side, there was also America and stuff like that. So flat earthers misquoting James Cook is another fun thing they do. If anyone just looks up, they would know that that's a lie. And just to talk about the fact that there is no extra lands beyond Antarctica, every few years there is something called the Van de Globe race. That is a race that anyone can enter, where you sail from France all the way down to Antarctica, around Antarctica, and then back up to France. The whole thing is tracked via GPS, and the whole time, then the people that go to Antarctica then have to sail and see Antarctica on their right the entire time as they go around it, and then still they then just keep going in a straight line and head back up to France. That makes absolutely no sense if, one, the Earth is flat and Antarctica is a ring around us. Two, if there is any kind of extra lands. The only way the course of the Van de Globe race makes any kind of sense is if the Earth is a globe and we know where everything is. There is no extra lands beyond Antarctica where there might be fruitful stuff for us to see and magical creatures that Ross can pet and hug with his hippie lifestyle. No, none of that exists. We know every bit of land on the planet. There is nothing extra to be discovered on Earth. We've seen it all. Maybe not all the underwater, and frankly, I'm terrified of underwater, and let's all stay away from that. There's big creatures there, they're scary. But no, there's no extra lands on Earth. We know everything. We go around Antarctica. People that we know personally are going to Antarctica this year. There's no extra lands. It's just another continent on Earth. I just wanted to put, Ozien covered most of the stuff that the two Rosses said, but I wanted to point out that Ross talked about railguns. Railguns fire in an arc and use gravity for actually finding their target, so I don't know why you would bring that up. Ross obviously doesn't understand anything to do with relative motion, because he said the clouds are moving faster than the railgun. No, you just compare the railgun and the clouds to Earth. I'm sure the clouds are not moving faster. Bruce Lee and Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're both Globers, so thanks for that, Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. Oh yeah, first Ross got confused between geographical poles and magnetic poles. No, the actual poles don't move, just the magnetic poles move, which is what gives us magnetic declination. The actual South and North Pole themselves do not move. You maybe should stop making yourself look so ridiculous by saying things like that. Basically, flat earthers came with zero evidence. Me and Ozien have just both proven the globe. I think we can just all go home. What do you say, guys?
All right, I think that was your wrap up there, Craig. Well, thank you so much for your introductory statement. Since we had such a success with this last time, I think we'll do an up to 10-minute per side to respond to what they just heard. So 5 minutes per speaker, ideally, and then we'll move into an open discussion and try to set a good pace. So, Ross, you have the floor. You got up to.
I would love to let Flat Earth Jesus go first if he is ready. If not, I'll go first, but. Because I can get wordy, so I'll let him go and I'll clean up whatever he doesn't get.
Is that your official name, Iron Horse, at this point?
Iron Horse is the one we've been using for some time now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that was your email, but like, I don't want anybody to get upset if I just started calling you Flat Earth Jesus. I mean, they might. Some people might not like that. So, anyways.
Yeah, change the name.
All right. Yeah. So you got up to 9 minutes on the floor, or 9 minutes and 52 seconds still. So go ahead.
Rightio. Well, I won't be really needing all that time at all, so I'll let Ross finish off. There's just a few things that Craig is obviously very misconstrued about the flat Earth model. Is that we know the Antarctic ice wall is basically impenetrable. That is what Captain Cook actually proved. He was actually searching for the Great Southern Land. Now, he would not be searching for Australia, which had been known as New Holland for 200 years previous to him setting out on his journeys. It is well known that, well, it's not well known, but it's reasonably known that there is a place that we know as the Iron Republic, and this is the place which inspires us to believe that there is multiple other lands with far greater technology. And it's even suggested that at the end of World War II, that the Germans actually used their U-boats and found passages beneath the ice wall, which basically ended all the war. Nobody really cared about the war anymore, because once the Germans had reached that place and found what lies beyond, they'd won everything. And so because they'd already suffered the humiliation of defeat after World War I, they saw no great purpose in making the losers also feel so bad, because they've just won. It was so big. So all they did, sent all their scientists, they created the CIA, they created NASA. All the top German scientists went to both nations of USSR and the USA and created both sides of the Cold War, which we've seen where they just let each other win some brownie points. We're the first to go to space, we're the first to go to the moon, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of evidence to say that there is indeed further land beyond Antarctica, which changes the whole ball game altogether, because it makes this place just redundant. It's no longer even worth worrying about. The Germans are letting them have it. We'll just go. We're done. So yeah, you talk about that boat race. They obviously cover far greater distances when travelling in the south, and the only time they even come close to Antarctica is actually when they're passing through the Shetland Islands at the south of South America. So they are not keeping Antarctica in view the entire way. It's actually impossible to do because of the dangerous conditions in the ice and all the rest. So using that as evidence to believe we live on a spinning space ball, of course, you had to mention the clouds. Well, yeah, everything has to be moving. These things are moving independently of the ground. Now, anything of the Earth that is thrown in trajectory through the air moves through the air. It does not automatically drag all the air with us like some massive, I don't know how you'd even picture that in a vacuum of space. All the air would just disappear. It'd be gone. So, yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons we know that we're not on a planet spinning through a void of space. Yep, I'm done. Your turn, Ross.
Still got 7 minutes.
Oh, still 7? Okay, cool. Okay, so all right, let me just go through what they said. Okay, Ozien's main point was because it's a globe. All right, I promise I heard every word. I wrote it down. He was like, why does this happen? Because it's a globe. Why does this happen? Because it's a globe. There really wasn't any evidence in there. And then he was like, stop lying. Stop lying. I'm just running you through what I took out of Ozien's. Stop lying because it's a globe, right? And then he brought up the Southern Cross. I wanted to talk about this in the beginning, but I didn't quite have time, okay? In my last debate, I brought up the thing about the stars moving in different directions from the northern and southern hemisphere, right? And I swear to God, I try my best to make things as dumb as possible, but apparently I need to make them even dumber because people were in my comments saying that I didn't explain this well enough, all right? I thought my fan analogy was enough, okay? But listen, for all of you guys out there that don't understand the azimuthal field of vision, okay, this is an easy way to understand what I'm talking about, all right? I thought about this when I was driving through LA. I drive through LA every day. There's palm trees lined. Why are the palm trees that are basically a mile from me eye level as I'm driving to them? Does anybody know that or think about that? I thought that when I say Euclidean geometry doesn't work at distances, that basically covers everything, but apparently it doesn't. You know why that happens? It's because we can only see so far and things converge at a point when you're looking at a distance, right? So that means that if I'm in the northern hemisphere and I'm looking up at the stars, right, however many millions of miles you guys say they are, right, I'm not seeing them at their location. I'm seeing an apparent location, just like the palm trees when I'm driving through LA. So those stars that are above me are coming down in my field of vision. If I'm in the southern hemisphere, they're coming down the other way. That's why they spin in opposite ways. I think, like I said last time, a fifth grader should be able to understand that. Pastor Tony obviously could not. Do you understand that? Okay. If they're above you, they come down and face you. If I'm facing the other way, they come down and the other way because it's an illusion. All right. So that's pretty much everything that Ozien said in his thing. So Craig in his thing said, "I've got 2 degrees. You were straw manning us." Then he said we had 0 evidence. Then he said that we're supposed to trust some electronic GPS thing that the pilots have. Craig, this is
right quick.
Doesn't make any sense.
Back a little bit away from your mic, if you don't mind. Just back a little bit away from the mic.
Oh, thank you. No, please let me know.
All right, continue.
Okay, Craig, it's funny that you talk about the pilots and radar. I'm glad you finally admitted that radar was line of sight, because in our first few debates, every time I talk about the Earth being quote unquote flat or bigger, I bring up the fact that we have all these radar tests that go from that are line of sight, basically, that go further than they're supposed to. So I don't know why you would bring that up. And not only pilots, right, but all technology. Listen to what I'm saying. All technology, period, depends on the world being a flat, level, non-rotating plane. Okay, there's a great video called 40 government documents that prove the Earth is flat, where they go through not just government military documents, but NASA documents that talk about how they're using their technology, how they've tested it, and how that it literally depends on the world being a flat, non-rotating plane. And to circle back to my very first 2 points about basically the Earth not moving and being the center of the universe. Again, the reason why I bring up Tesla and Charles Produce Steinmetz so much is because, like I said, all technology depends on the Earth being a flat, level, non-rotating plane and the existence of the ether. Every single person that had a hand in developing our current modern AC generating system, our whole electrical grid, our entire electrical grid was made by people that understood that the Earth is a flat, non-rotating plane. Now, maybe they didn't reflect that in their writings, but if you read their writings, right, about how they came up with their electrical grid, it depended on the existence of an ether, 100%. All right. So that's not negotiable. I'm not sure how much time I have left, but again, in 1901, Marconi sent the first radio wave from the Pacific to across the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so this is much further than it's supposed to be, considering what the quote-unquote curve of the globe is. All right, so that, like I said, I don't know why you guys aren't just accepting reality and saying, you know what, it's a globe, but it's just a bigger globe. That's literally your only play here. You don't have, all evidence shows that the globe, if it is a globe, it's not the radius value that is given.
You still have 2 minutes.
Do I have any time left, or that's it?
You still have 2 minutes if you want to add any more.
Well, I mean, yes, again, like I said, you know, because Craig, I really want to, I don't want to get too deep into the philosophy, right? But Craig is like, there are no lands outside of Antarctica. Okay, I didn't say Captain Cook. I said Admiral Byrd. I don't think Craig is going to jump out the window and say Admiral Byrd didn't say that there were lands on the other side of Antarctica. I have a video right here that I can play if you really want to go down that rabbit hole of Admiral Byrd on TV saying that there are vast amounts of coal, uranium, and all these other resources upwards of 180 miles past Antarctica. This is Admiral Byrd, not Captain Cook. So I don't know why Craig is doing that. You know why he might be doing that? Because Craig might be part of the elite that doesn't want you to go to these other lands. That's right. I'm just saying. There is going to be an ice age here when the sun moves to those other lands. So there's a group of people that know for sure. They've never been there, but they know for sure there's no land over there. Okay, but the one person that has been there, Admiral Byrd, he knows that there is land over there and coal and uranium. All right. So, and I don't want to hear anything about the reason why they won't let you privately explore Antarctica because they care about your safety. All right. Maybe you can land on a place that they tell you is Antarctica. Nobody knows where they're really going. All right. But even if you go to the tip, you cannot freely and privately explore Antarctica. If you're saying this, you're unaware or you're lying. All right. And don't say that the reason why they don't let you do it is because of your safety, because they're bombing people in the Middle East right now. That's right. They're starving people here. They don't care about anybody's safety. Are you kidding me? Well, I'm sorry. Look, it's a fact. While governments are dropping bombs on people, don't tell me they care about people's safety. That's why they won't let them explore Antarctica. All right. That's insane. Why would people like Craig say, I know for a fact there's no lands over there, when he's never even been there? You know why? Because he probably does know there's more land over there and he doesn't want you to know. I'm just saying. I digress.
All right, excellent. Well, you only had 30 seconds left on the clock there, so thank you, Ross and Iron Horse, for your rebuttal period there. We're going to hand the floor over to Oz first for up to...
Right.
Are you asking for the floor there, Craig?
Yeah, that's all right.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, is that cool with you, Oz,
Yeah.
if I go first? Yeah.
Sure thing. All right, so you have up to 5 minutes, Craig, and then I'll let you know, and then Oz, if you want to cede any more time, you just let us know what that at that time. So go ahead there, Craig.
Number one, I have been to Antarctica, so yeah, there's definitely no extra lands there. I checked. It was Flower Ozzie Jesus talked about James Cook. So Captain James Cook, renowned 18th century British explorer and navigator, often cited as conspiracy theories about extra lands. In reality, the voyages are well documented. First voyage is 1768, 1771. Cook's mission to observe the transit of Venus across the sun and Tahiti. Journey led to the European discovery of several islands in the Pacific, including Society Islands. Second voyage, 1772 to 1775, Cook sailed further south than any other European before him, crossing the Antarctic Circle and disproving the existence of a supposed Terra Australis Incognita, a large continent that was believed to exist in the southern hemisphere. Then his third voyage in 1776 to 1779 aimed to locate a northwest passage around the American continent. During this trip, Cook charted the American west coast from Oregon up to the Bering Strait. Nothing about extra lands. In fact, he disproved the extra lands. As for Admiral Byrd, notable American explorer, sometimes associated with theories about discovering uncharted lands beyond the poles, often linked to hollow earth theories. However, these claims, particularly about a mysterious land with prehistoric animals observed during his 1947 flight over the Arctic, are more fiction than fact. They've been popularized by speculative and non-scientific sources and do not have a bias in any verified or scientific explanations conducted by Byrd or others, as cited in the Library of Congress. These stories seem to stem from misinterpretation or elaboration of his real achievements, which were significant but strictly within the known geographical boundaries of the Earth. Quickly to touch on radar horizons. Yes, they are line of sight, Ross. That's why there's a radar horizon that you cannot see past, which matches the known radius of the Earth because of that horizon. Based on the position and height of the radar, there is a radar horizon on the ground, which is because of the radar, the radius of the Earth. Line of sight means they can see things in the sky because they can go further, but they get blocked off at the ground. You completely ignored that in your rebuttal, and ignored the fact that all documents show that the Earth is globe when talking about radar. And it wasn't just a little GPS thing that pilots use, it's the actual thing they use to plan and navigate their flights. So everything you said was wrong and extra dumb. Ozien, over to you.
All right. So, okay. Thank you. And I have the a BBC excuse me, it's Vedic Night 28. You can go watch the full Admiral Byrd interview about Antarctica, and he's talking about exploring and getting resources from Antarctica, not about getting resources beyond Antarctica, about getting resources from the continent of Antarctica. Ross, I have no idea who you're listening to, who you're getting information from, but it's from, maybe it's their deep fakes or something like that. Maybe they're from liars and grifters who are feeding you a load of bullshit and crap because they are lies. Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica. Antarctica. He's talking about resources in Antarctica. The treaty that the people are always talking about, this treaty is about protecting the natural resources in Antarctica. It's about not bringing, people aren't allowed to bring fuel to Antarctica. You can't bring a generator to Antarctica. That's why it's dangerous, like to go to Antarctica. You can't bring your own fuel, you can't bring your own generator. You have to bring clothes, you have to go at the right time of year. You have to be ready to go there to prepare to survive in these type of conditions in Antarctica, because we don't want to destroy this habitat for the things that are there. That's why it's set up the way it is. It isn't to prevent people from going there. It's to protect the environment as a resource for the world, so that we can explore it and understand how this environment works. And it's also important because it also is it stores I don't know. Anyways, I'm not a climate scientist. I'm not going to speak anymore on that subject. You talked about azimuthal field of vision. Like, dude, I wasn't talking about star rotations. Also, here's a clock right here. And so it has a second hand on it. And no matter how I move it, This second hand is always spinning
5 minutes.
clockwise. Like, so I don't know what you're talking about. The only way it spins counterclockwise, if I go to the other side of it, it's the only way it's going to spin counterclockwise. The stars in the sky, I don't magically go to the other side of the stars when I magically pass this mythical line called an equator. It doesn't magically change it, right? What it is we live on a globe that's rotating, and we have an optical effect that makes the stars look like, on one side it looks like, when we look to the north, this looks like it's spinning this way. When we look to the south, this looks like it's spinning the other way. And that's it. There's nothing magical about it. It's basic geometry. You're appealing to illusions. Illusions. You just said it. It's an illusion. It's just magic. Oh no, it's not magic. It's basic geometry, obvious stuff that people have understood for thousands of years. I had other stuff I could have talked about: tides, tidal forces, weather patterns, trade winds, all that follow the rotation of the Earth. We've known about this stuff. We've used this stuff. The history of the world, like navigators have understood this stuff. History of the world. To do navigation, we assume that stars are an infinite distance away. Infinite distance away. So this whole idea that that you're appealing to, that they're not an infinite distance away to do like this magical thing where they're changing perspective for azimuthal field of vision, they have to be an infinite distance away, or they're going to change in elevation dramatically as you change in latitude. We know today they're not infinite distance away, but they might as well be in relationship to us when it deals to the amount of distance we are to the North Pole. So the math works out that there's not a much of a change. So we consider them to be an infinite distance away when we do the math, but in reality, we know they're not an infinite distance away. But that's a different thing. What else? The ether. Are you seeing that the ether is like, you seeing that light needs a mechanical medium
2
to
minutes.
travel through? Now you're going on all these other tangents that, and you go through like these 57 papers, all these. No technology requires the Earth to be flat to work. I was in aviation for 11 years. So even the attitude indicator in the aircraft has oh shoot, the vanes. That require that there's little things that open up these vents on either side that make the attitude indicator adjust and resettle based on gravity and the curvature of the Earth, so that the attitude indicator follows the tilt of the aircraft.
Yeah, he's confused between modeling assumptions and, documents for how things work. It's hilarious. Typical Fleur. Yeah.
Holy
Sounds like you
hell.
went
Like
to the same
rigid
school as the
rigid
dude. He said,
airframes
no,
too,
they
right?
gotta leave.
Hold
Like
on,
a
hold
rigid
on.
air.
They still
Right,
have a
holy
minute.
hell.
They still have a minute on the floor, so go ahead, Oz.
Like no aircraft is perfectly rigid either, but we pretend like they are. But that's just for like engineering. But like but then we test and we put tons of slop in it. Protection engineering, right? I did protection. A lot of the lines we do 20% slop, 20%. Oh, circuit breakers in your home, like 50%, right? 50% slop.
Yeah, there's no documents that say the Earth is flat. They're simply modeling
10
assumptions.
seconds.
NASA says that the Earth is flat. It's
Oh.
ridiculous. NASA go to space.
All right. Well, that is time there. So what we are going to do is go into an open discussion, open dialogue. So everybody hold on to your seats. We're going to do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So our poll is currently sitting at 54% a globe, 32% say flat, and then it's a Halo world. I need a weapon.
Man, this is the closest I've ever seen it.
It's, I was going to say, so yeah, if you haven't already.
I voted Halo, by the way.
All right, just hold on. Let me do my housekeeping 1 second. Yes, vote for Halo. That's fine. Let me know if you're a troll in the live chat or not. But yes, we are going to do super chats at the end of the 40 minutes here of open discussion. So if you have a question for any of our speakers, get it in. And if you haven't already, hit the like button and boost us up in the algorithm. It helps a lot while we're live if you guys hit that like button. So yeah, we really appreciate that. Ross, I will give you the floor. I'm sorry that I muted you.
No, you're good.
No matter how tasty, you find Ozien's argument, I can't have you. Making the expressions.
Well, I will say Ozien is by far my favorite person to debate because at least he tries to have arguments. Craig's whole argument is that sounds extra dumb. Is that scientific, Craig? Anyway, real quick. So Craig said that there are no documents that say that the Earth is flat. All right. Like I said, there's a great video you can find easily on YouTube called 40 Government Documents. This is one of my favorite ones right here. This document, this government United States
10 seconds,
Army
Ross.
document. It's called an energy budget model to calculate the low atmosphere profiles of effective sound speed at night. You can go look up this government document. Not only does it speak about the Earth being
all
local.
Right, I gotta let Craig jump in here, okay, Ross?
Okay, let me finish my sentence. Not only does it speak about the Earth being non-moving, but it speaks about a local sun.
Okay, we're handing it to Craig now. All right, so let's let Craig respond to some of what you just said.
There is zero documents from the government or engineering say the Earth is flat. If you claim there is, you are simply lying. You are getting confused.
You see why I have to bet him, Ryan? This is why I have to bet, because he just says stuff.
If you're going to keep talking over people, I'm going to place you on the mute.
All right, my bad.
Continue on there, Craig. And like I said, if you want to jump in, I'll give him 15 seconds. Go ahead, Craig.
Claim that the Earth is flat. You are talking about modeling assumptions for mathematical simplicity, and that is it. If you are claiming right now that there is a government document that states specifically the Earth is flat, then present it. Otherwise, retract your claim.
All right, let's hand it over.
40 plus documents actually, and you said what?
Present it.
I'll show you where you can go find it. All right, 40 plus documents.
You can find it. Show me it.
And again, Craig. Not only does all technology, not only does
Ross explain here.
Not only does all technology, not only
1 second there, Craig.
Not only does all technology depend on the Earth being flat and non-rotating, but like you said, also mathematics, right? We can't even do proper mathematics on Earth without assuming it's flat and non-rotating. Thank you for pointing that out, Craig.
All right, let's hand it back over to Craig. Craig, you're on mute. Sorry, buddy. Just to make some space, if you want to respond there, and then let's try to get Oz and Iron Horse in here. So go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, again, no, you're just saying things without presenting any evidence. There is absolutely zero documents that claim the Earth is flat, and if you don't present it, then I'm just going to dismiss your claim. And
I gave you the name of it, Craig. Go study in your own
Ross.
time.
All right, you're on mute, Ross. I'm sorry, bud.
No, give me the name of it. Present the specific document that claims the Earth is flat. And also, no maths works if the Earth is rotating. The mathematics of the Dioplos effect and mathematics of Coriolis effect both disagree with you.
All right, we're going to get Iron Horse in here just to respond a little bit and then hand it over to you, Oz.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I find it amusing that they even bring up star trails when the very reason they say we have a sunset or sunrise, moonset, moonrise is the very thing that is debunked by the star trails themselves because they actually move in perfect circles. As I also, Ozien really brushed over it very poorly because he said, because sound doesn't exist in space, therefore max speeds are no longer real. Whereas I just use as an example to say that if we are hurtling through space at the very speeds that they demand their model must have, then none of that would even be possible whatsoever. Flight would be impossible. The moon and all satellites would be impossible. None of them are moving nearly fast enough to keep up with the spinning space ball at just its second slowest speed that they believe it to be about 10 times faster than a railgun projectile, whether or not sound exists in a vacuum of space.
Well, we're not moving Like, what do you mean we're moving? Like, we're moving.
That's what your claim is, the orbit. Orbit.
No, we're not. We're not moving around. We're orbiting around the sun. Yes, we're orbiting around the sun.
So we are moving.
No,
We're not moving, but we're moving. Right.
we're in free.
So
we're
this is
in
what the
free
problem
fall.
is. Everything you guys have a claim about is a load of shit.
All right, let's let
You
Oz
deny it.
respond.
You
Let's
just
let
don't
Oz respond.
understand it, Ross. It's not my fault. You don't understand the physics behind the claim.
All right, rather than analyzing epistemology, let's just respond to the
It's
claim.
not analyzing epistemology.
Just let's carry on with what we're
The
looking at.
motion is
Why
not
is it
motion, but it's
humanity?
motion.
Sorry, I was giving the floor to Oz to respond.
Yeah, but one
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
Ozien is correct, though, because they don't understand the physics of the claim. So when he says your claim is impossible, then Ozien's completely right to pull him up on that because he doesn't understand the physics of the claim. So he's not.
I
even
do understand the physics.
No,
Yeah.
you
It's a real claim. If you're going to claim a real speed, then you have to support your real speed. You can't just say, no, we don't move. We don't orbit the
Right.
sun. But your very claim is we do orbit the sun.
No, Ross, is speed relative? Yes or no?
Speed is real.
No,
it's-
I say no.
No.
I say speed is speed.
So
The theory of relativity has been debunked. Ozien agreed that it was never a valid scientific theory already.
All right.
I never. No, I
All right.
didn't.
Wait. Hold on one
Don't
second there, Craig.
misquote me.
I have you
No,
on camera.
That's not what I said about relativity.
All right, let's let him clarify.
I said when relativity was first proposed, I wouldn't have accepted it until it was tested and validated with all the
and
testing
it never
that
was.
done.
It was never tested, never validated.
Yes, it was. It's
With
been
what?
reaffirmed
When?
thousands of times.
Name one of the
GPS
times.
Satellites.
Eddington
Okay.
experiment.
Okay,
GPS
let's let him
satellites
explain.
Craig, you did it again.
All right. If you're gonna ask a question, we got to let him respond. Just 1 second,
GPS
Ross.
satellites that have relativistic calculations in them to adjust for
Okay,
gravity.
I accept that answer. I accept that. Now let me ask you this though.
Magnetic effect.
I accept that answer. Let me ask you this, Ozien. Did the Eddington experiments prove Einstein's special relativity, Ozien?
GPS clocks prove special.
See, you see how Ozien doesn't want to throw his partner under the bus because he knows Craig is saying nonsense. Craig is saying nonsense right
I don't
now.
want to deal with your meta bullshit.
Can I get the floor? For
I asked you a direct question.
All
No.
right. I've been asked politely by Craig to have the floor. Sorry, fellas. We're gonna hand the floor over to Craig before we go down a rabbit hole. Seems like we're just elevating here. So go ahead there, FTFE. Let's try to bring it back down.
There's been no evidence that the Eddington experiment was a fraud. The paper that Ross presented is from someone that is simply a conspiracy theorist. Eddington experiment has been repeated over and over and over by different people. Ozien, do you agree that the Eddington experiment matches the predictions of special relativity?
I don't think Ozien's got a clue what you're even talking about.
Yes, yes, I do, Iron Horse. Eddington experiments match the predictions, and the Eddington experiments have been repeated many times. They want to complete all the
Ozien
plates.
agrees
and
with me.
machines,
Just to clear it up, Ross, Ozien agrees with me.
Okay, so it's simple common sense that if something is traveling in a straight line, in order for something to orbit that thing, it must be doing ridiculous changes of speed, of acceleration, deceleration, and sharp turning to wrap around back behind it again. And yet you're claiming that the Earth is traveling around the sun 66,600 miles per hour, Mach 88, and the moon and the satellites and everything are just in free fall around us, as though free fall is somehow has the ability to steer, redirect itself, and make all these incredible changes, all to match your belief, which is not proven or provable.
The Earth is traveling in a geodesic in free fall around the sun. It is not changing directions. There are slight tidal forces that we do experience because of some slight elliptical differences, and we have the sun moves a little bit and the Earth
come on, you don't even understand your own model, Ozien. How can you sit here and lie about your own model? You're lying through your teeth. The sun is moving 514,000 miles per hour in the heliocentric model. How can you
You're
deny
lying
that?
about the model, Ross?
How can you deny your own beliefs? This is what all you globers do. You don't
I'm
even know
not
your own
denying
beliefs.
it.
You even
I
said we don't
understand it.
orbit, that we're not moving.
Okay, can I
We-
respond to
we-
Ozien now?
No.
Can I respond to Ozien?
All right,
I want to respond to some
we'll
of
let
the stuff that Ozien
Ozien.
said.
We'll let
No,
Ozien.
let me rebut.
Go ahead, after this, though.
All right,
After
yeah,
this. I wanna
15,
respond to
15
We
seconds,
are-
Oz, and then we'll hand it.
We are traveling in a geodesic. We are not changing velocities. If you appeal to Newtonian physics, if you want to appeal to Newtonian physics, which is no longer the accepted model, then we are falling in free fall with centripetal forces into Earth, and we have a balanced force of centrifugal force and we have a mostly balanced.
Mate, you are waffling. You are waffling.
All right,
Speak some
you
sense.
gotta
You're
let me
speaking
finish.
Last-
Why are
absolute
you
nonsense.
interrupting me, Ross?
All right,
Well,
last
you're
5
waffling.
seconds.
Mostly-
Just to be fair.
We have a mostly balanced force. That acceleration of the centripetal and the centrifugal acceleration is very, very, very small. I'll give you the numbers. They're on my.
All right, that's more than 5 seconds. Can I
profile.
please respond to some of this?
All right.
Please, let me go. Let me go.
They're on my.
Let me go.
text
Come on,
profile. I'll
Ozien.
give you
All
the
right.
numbers
We
if
got you.
want.
We got you, Ozien.
We
I
do
promise.
need, we do need to
Very,
let them
very
respond.
small.
Just 1 second.
We
there,
got
Oz.
you. We got you.
Go ahead.
All
there.
right. I just want to say, okay, that Ozien a few times ago claimed that I'm just believing in illusion and all this, but he just claimed that all these motions are happening, but we cannot feel it. Okay, that is their claim, that there's all these motions going on, but we cannot feel it. That it's a sphere, but we cannot see it. All right. Like I always say in my debates, I'm on the side of the earth that follows the laws of physics. Okay, now I'm going to give the floor up, but the next time I come back on, I'm going to share, next time I speak, excuse me, I'm going to share my screen, if that's okay, and I'm going to show all the evidence that I have that the Eddington experiments have been proven a fraud. All right, but like I said, as of right now, I'll give it up though. But again, we follow the earth that we believe in, the earth that follows the laws of physics,
5
not
seconds.
illusion. Now I will go ahead and cede the floor so you guys can get big mad.
All right, Craig, you wanted
Well,
the
that
floor.
won't happen in
Feel
10
free.
seconds
Craig,
either,
Craig
if I
had his
might.
hand up
Just
there,
30
so just 1 second. You guys hashed it out, so go ahead, Craig.
I'm just going to pre-debunk Ross there. The claim that Arthur Eddington's 1919 eclipse experiment was a fraud has circulated in various forms but lacks any substantial evidence. Critics suggest that Eddington, the proponent of Einstein's theories, might have been biased in interpreting the data to support the theory of general relativity. This claim hinges on the idea that Eddington selectively reported results from his observations during the solar eclipse to favor Einstein's predictions over the Newtonian
Where are you reading that from? Where are you reading that from?
However,
Where are you reading that from?
detailed reviews and
If you don't
All right,
present it, then you're
hold
not giving
on.
evidence.
You're back on mute, Ross. Go ahead,
However-
Craig.
However, detailed reviews and reanalysis of the available data from the 1919 eclipses have consistently supported Eddington's original conclusions, despite changing conditions and the inherent limitations of the observational technology at the time. The data collected by Eddington and his team provided one of the earliest confirmations of general relativity. This was further corroborated by subsequent experiments and observations over the years, including in 2023.
Cite your sources. Cite your
which-
sources.
which have consistently validated the theory predictions about light bending around massive objects like the sun. The notion of
Sources?
1 second, Ross.
The notion
Let's
of
unwrap.
fraud in Eddington's work appears to be more rooted in the philosophical and historical debate about the nature of scientific observations and interpretation, rather than in
10
concrete
seconds.
evidence of misconduct. The consensus in the scientific community, supported by repeated experimental verification, upholds the validity of the findings from the 1919 eclipse, and I will cite my source by posting it in the chat.
All right,
What-
we're gonna
what's
go.
the source?
Heap of rubbish. He's waffling on with rubbish.
Can I share my screen if that's okay?
You can
Yeah,
share your
but-
screen. It sounds like
I've already pre-debunked you, just so you know.
Oh, did you?
All right.
Oh, did you?
after Ross, we're gonna let Oz inject here because he's.
Oh,
Got,
he debunked
something
me.
up.
All right. Let me know when my screen is up.
Go ahead.
I asked him several times what source is that. He won't tell us. I wonder why.
I literally told you that I would post the source in the chat.
Just tell us or pull it up. You know my. Craig, pull it
I'm
up.
literally about to. But
Oh,
I asked
okay,
you.
listen. Here we go. Here's Cornell, Craig. Hey, Craig. Hey, Craig. Cornell University. Craig. Cornell University, Craig.
One
Ross,
second
wait.
before this.
I was
just
quiet
gets-
when you were talking.
All right,
I was
ahead,
quiet.
Go ahead, Ross. We're just gonna.
Thank you. Cornell
Craig's on
University,
mute for
not
just
only
1
because of a theory, Dyson editing, and the completing myths of the 1919 eclipse expedition. You don't respect Cornell University, Craig? You not respect Cornell University?
Where was your evidence when I asked you to pull up, by the way?
What do you mean? It's right. Are you talking in the past? Or are you addressing what I just showed you? Are you addressing Cornell, Craig? Craig, this is not some philosophy. Craig, this is not some philosophy major. Craig, shh.
This is a philosophy.
Hey, poppycock.
Hold on.
This is
guys.
not some philosophy.
All right, hold on, both of you guys. You can't just both be talking over each other. So, Russ, you got to make a space. If you want him to engage with what you're putting on the screen, you got to let him respond.
Major, just so everyone knows.
I will, but listen,
Ross, you're back on mute. You got to let him respond. Like I said, you got the screen share up, so you presented.
I haven't made my point yet. I just pulled it up. I didn't even get a chance to finish my sentence.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying. But go ahead, Craig. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're getting waxed already. It don't matter.
You know how he's shouting? It's incredible how he doesn't let anyone talk. You are citing a philosophy major that is talking about biases that were not there. That's it. There's no evidence of anything that the person in this thing says. It is literally just somebody's opinion that doesn't even have any qualifications in the thing that they are talking about. It is a philosophy major talking nonsense about bias that didn't exist with zero evidence to back it up. On with you go, because I've just said what that is. Now you can show everyone exactly what it is.
Unlike Craig, I will read from sources. Here we go. Most familiar to philosophers is a portrayal by Popper in 1968 of the eclipse episode as exactly the sort of case on which falsificationism is built. Here you go. Eddington as a typically fallible scientist as craftsman. Eddington as ruthlessly fraudulent. 2002. Listen, Craig. 2002, 1993, 1980, 1968. Shut your lying mouth.
People saying things. There's no evidence.
I'm not on my screen share. And listen, Craig. Craig, I'm not just saying it. These are tons of
Hold on, fellas. We're gonna hand the floor over to Oz. He's been holding on to a thought for a while there, and like I say, you guys are kind of just elevating here. We still got 23 minutes, so
you owe me 20 grand, Craig.
Ozien is on the floor.
You owe me 20 grand.
Right, I just want 1 second to respond.
No.
Just 1 second to respond, please. Just 1 second to respond to that. Again, everything that he just gave was simply people saying things with no evidence. People saying things that aren't even qualified in the thing that they are saying is not evidence against it. Nobody cares what a book says.
We'll hand it to Oz because you guys have had the floor here for a bit. And then I do want to get Iron Horse in here if you can hear me, Iron Horse. So go ahead, Oz.
Yeah, if you actually read it and just didn't read the underlying portions, which was very misleading, it was people that were making claims. It wasn't actually analysis of the paper, which I think was very misleading. I also want to point out, first of all, this is a flat Earth versus
your mic keeps going out, Ozien.
Okay, so was yours. Is it good,
it's
Ryan?
Good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. This is a flat Earth versus globe debate, and all we're hearing is arguments about people that don't understand the basic laws of motion and how we can sense motion. So the minimum sense that we have of motion is 0.1 meters per second for like a healthy human. Not me, because I get vertigo, unfortunately. So I feel motion just sitting here normally, and the worm's spinning right now. Yay me! Anyway, so I just want to ask, like, why do we have a 24-hour sun in December? Why, when those guys?
Nobody's ever seen that. Nobody's seen that.
Like,
yeah, in
it will pull up a video then. Damn, everyone, you guys just sit here and say stuff. I pull stuff. And people have the nerve to act like you guys are actually saying something of substance. Listen, I want to ask the question: if we are actually a perfect globe, right? Why don't we have even time zones?
Talk for like 6 minutes, and you don't even let me spend like 30 seconds finishing.
That's not even the true characterization of this conversation.
Can Ozien get a chance to talk about Ross interrupting, please, moderator? Is that right?
Well,
yeah.
let's let him. Yeah, if you want to reframe what you were asking there, and then we're gonna get Iron Horse in here. I'm sorry, Ross. It's just
of course. Let me know. I'll be.
This is about the Earth being a globe or not. There's a 24-hour sun on the North Pole, and there's a 24-hour sun on the South Pole. And there is video. Mr. Beast, of course, went to the South Pole. I've shown that video here several times. I can pull it up again if you want to see Mr. Beast's 24-hour sun. again.
And I'll show a 360 24-hour sun for everyone.
Yeah, if
I really don't see how looking at the lights
right
in the ceiling are going to prove the shape of the floor in the first place. If we do look at the 24-hour sun in the Arctic Circle, we actually see it moving very dramatically up and down throughout the sky in a massive sine wave pattern. The sun itself gets larger and smaller, and the sky itself gets brighter and darker. When we see these fake ones from the Antarctica, they just go around in a circle. The sun glare never even changes. Everything about them is so fake. You've got no evidence of a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. You've just got stories and lies and the same old nonsense. And once again, you never even addressed what I brought up about the star trails in the first place. Why aren't they moving just exactly like the sun and moon from most of the Earth? Because it's the Earth's rotation itself which is creating the appearance of the sunrise and sunset. So the stars should be following that, unless we're basically well beyond the 60th or 70th degree parallel, either north or south, to be able to see a 24-hour sun in the first place. You'd never address any of that. But the stars just go in perfect circles for reasons from anywhere.
Because the stars are considered an infinite distance away. The sun is not.
I know, and that's ridiculous and absolute nonsense. They're not.
Oh, that's personal incredulity.
Well, if they're
No,
not
personal
considered,
incredulity is sending up a high-altitude balloon footage and saying that there are no stars visible above the atmosphere. The atmosphere itself is the giver of light. All our light exists in the atmosphere.
wow.
The only thing we see above that is the bright glare of the sun as it's coming through the firmament, hitting the superfluid sea of, or the sea of superfluid helium, the He3 that it contains, which is why the sun is basically called Helios in the first place.
Send
Above that,
the
there is
balloon
no
up
stars.
at night.
Just
Send the
like
balloon up at night, and you can see stars.
All right,
Only to a certain height.
all right,
After a
Craig,
certain
let's
height,
let Craig
they
in here. He's
disappear.
been trying to chomp at the bit there. Go ahead there, Craig.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I just want Ross to admit that he was wrong about the 24-hour sun. There being no videos, as I'm literally showing a video from Antarctica of the 24-hour sun.
And you can see how fake it is. Look how fake that is.
Have you
Why
got the
is the
evidence?
sun not going up and
Ross,
down?
you thought that tennis was fake and the sun was
Craig,
dug
cut it out.
by giants.
Craig,
This
cut
is
it
Why is
out.
the sun not
24-hour
moving up
sun.
and down in a
It's
sine
not,
wave
it's not even.
pattern?
All right, fellas. Like I say,
Have you any evidence this is fake?
Mute
Otherwise, in
yourself at the right time.
your personal utility, this is exactly the predictions of what you should see at this time of the year from this position in the Antarctic. Are you just going to say it's fake with no evidence?
I'm trying to answer your question, but I again got muted. I'm trying to tell you that the sun would be moving up and
let's let Ross
down
respond, Craig.
sine wave pattern, just exactly as it does in the Arctic Circle. There's no change in the light value of the sky. There's no change in the size of the sun, and there's no moving up and down.
Changing
I mean-
in size as one thing, of course. So you're wrong about
Doesn't
that.
the sun go up at midday? The sun should be up in the middle of the sky at
Not
midday,
Here, not
and it only
necessarily.
just rims the horizon of the evening, which
Ross,
is what
hold on.
exactly what we see in the Arctic.
Depending on the time of the year, no. What you're doing is you're straw manning the globe model. That's it. This is what you should see at this time of the year. Exactly. You saying that you should see something else is just you not understanding the model. If you were to use something like solar system scope, which is a physical 3D model of the solar system, and place yourself in Antarctica at this time, this is exactly what you would see. The sun doesn't
No,
always.
you guys and your models, mate. You guys and your models, but what about reality?
I'm talking, the sun doesn't always go up and down. That would depend on the time of the year and the relative position of the tilt to the sun.
All right, let's respond.
Exactly. That's right, because it should be moving at least up and down. You have the sunrise and sunset everywhere else on the Earth, but you think Antarctica is something
1 second,
special?
You doing what I just said? I just said that no, depending on the relative position of the tilt to the sun, it wouldn't always go up and down.
The sun is not the one that's tilted though, bro. It's your fucking Earth. What are you talking about?
So no, again, because the Earth is tilted and the tilt stays in the relative position to the sun as it goes round, depending on the position of the Earth to the sun at the time of the year, that would decide whether the sun went up and down, whether the tilt was at the side of the sun or relative straight towards the sun. This time of the year is exactly what you should expect Otherwise, present evidence of the opposite instead of just saying things.
As long as it's
You
quick.
We've
claim-
got the evidence because we've
on.
seen it from the Arctic sun, the 24-hour sun in the Arctic, where it does definitely go up and down.
All right,
And
hold on there,
virtually-
gents. Hold on, both of you.
There are free solar system simulations that you can download and load and run, and you can simulate all this stuff yourself and look at any given day and look to see where the sun will be.
Nobody cares about your
Yourself,
simulations.
dude.
We're talking about
This is-
reality here on
1
Earth.
second,
And you
Oz.
can match it with
He's wrapping up his point.
reality, Roz. You can match it with reality and go check in to verify it yourself. This is just reality.
But you haven't. You're making claims using CGI and models on a computer. You have not checked this with reality at all.
CGI.
You're just
This is
lying.
people that did this. People.
All right, any
Dude,
thoughts
see,
over there? Real offended.
Yeah, models-
I have a few thoughts. Of course, I was going to touch on the simulation thing, but he already said it. But that's kind of incorrect because we cannot simulate correctly a 3-body gravity problem. We cannot take 3 bodies, put them in a simulation, and even get 3 bodies to work correctly with gravity.
Just gonna make
That's
the
not
screen share
correct
for
at
now.
all. And I don't remember if it was Craig or if it was Ozien that said the Earth doesn't change speeds, but the Earth obviously speeds up and slows down. This is basically the new model now because of all the non-globe evidence that's come out. They've actually had to change it from the globe to a flat spheroid, right? Think about it. It's not a globe anymore. It's a spheroid. You know why they do that? Because
It's
if
always
you
been a
measure it,
spheroid.
it will
5
be
seconds,
flat.
Ross.
Oh my
So they had to,
God.
if
Spheroid
you
isn't
measure it,
flat.
if
Oh my
you,
God.
hey,
5
if
seconds,
you
Ross.
measure it, it will be flat. That's why they had to change. It's an oblate spheroid.
All right,
Okay.
over to you, Craig.
A blate spheroid just means something that isn't a perfect sphere. The Earth is almost a perfect sphere, except for the tiny.
It's just flat when we measure it.
No, it's not flat when we measure it. You could look at the transcontinental.
Oh no, it is.
All right.
Sorry,
look at
Ryan.
Some people can get a natural back and forth. You've got to stop injecting.
Yeah. The transcontinental triangulation of the American arc of the parallel, a survey and operation across the entire continental United States that confirmed the radius of the Earth at being 3959, along with many other measurements like in India, United Kingdom, Asia, all actually measure the Earth curved. So the claim that you measure the Earth flat is just nonsense. And I just want to point out for all the audience again that there has been zero evidence for flat Earth presented in this debate, only misunderstandings of physics. That is it. These two people don't.
That's a load of lies, Craig. The only evidence you've ever had of measured curvature is because of the different angle of shadows, which is exactly what we'd expect on a flat surface where the sun itself is moving around above the equator. So it's going to
Hold
show
on,
you the
Craig.
angle of the shadow at all moments of every day and give us our 24 time zones. That's exactly what we'd expect on the flat Earth, and you're trying to suggest that that is evidence
Hold
of
on, Craig.
curvature?
1 second, Craig.
We never brought up anything about shadows.
Oh, finished. Sure.
Well, when you guys say things,
Hold on.
Let's let
Ross
Craig in
doesn't
here. He was
lie
waiting.
about
I just
carry on.
didn't
Yeah,
want you to cut him off because the audio
lie
gets
about
messed up.
Carry on. Yeah, Ross doesn't get to just lie about me and carry on. All right. The fact that he just said all you've got is shadows as your evidence of a curve is just a straight out lie. I don't need to look at the Eratosthenes experiment. There is many other things like the thing that I just said, the transcontinental triangulation of the American arc of the parallel, which doesn't use anything to do with shadows. So I would really appreciate it if Beardy here doesn't lie out of his stupid mouth.
whoa,
Lying. It was
They
just
actually knew.
oh,
Wait, whoa.
Yeah, woe to you, Yanaya, as well.
They actually knew it was a sphere before Eratosthenes measured it was a sphere. They knew it was a sphere before he
No, he
measured
didn't.
it.
how did he know? How did he know?
Posed it.
Boats vanishing over the horizon.
No, you're
That's
talking
how
about
they knew?
Aristotle. Aristotle was proven completely wrong. He'd been proven the
Dude.
biggest fraud in human history. And it's taken us 1,000 years to get over the damage he's done to the human philosophy. I've got about Aristotle. Yeah, there's been
Yeah, I
plenty
want
of
to respond to something that Craig said.
All right. Oz is trying to speak here, guys.
Dude, on the backs of giants.
Okay, can I respond to something that Craig said?
Sure thing.
Oh,
There,
no,
Ross.
Aristotle.
Okay, Craig
Real
talked
offended.
about navigators right? So this is an excerpt from a book called His Pronouncement. This is a book that discusses basically, dare I say, 200 to 300 different accounts from different expeditions and basically the process by which they came up with magnetic declination, because they realized that our map was completely incorrect. So
Maps
this is
don't
an excerpt
care
from
about
that book.
magnetic north.
It's an excerpt from that book. It says, it has also been admitted that whether the Earth is spherical, spheroidal, or ellipsoidal, there is thus far no positive evidence. Okay, according to explorers Shackleton and Amundsen, the South Polar region is a great. I said His Pronouncement. That's the name of the book.
Hello?
All right. So again, you can go find this book. Unlike you, I'm not going to say, "Oh, I'll post it," so nobody gets to hear it during the debate. No, during the debate, you guys can go look up the book His Pronouncement that has all these excerpts from sailors that prove that the map is incorrect. And I already talked about Admiral Byrd. Go read his writings and how they proved that I won't say prove because they did not prove this, but he claimed that there were lands on the other side that there were lands on the other. There were lands.
1 second, folks. 1 second. Hey, we're having a bit of a lag issue here. FTFE is frozen. Can you hear us, buddy?
Yes. Sorry. I think the satellite's
Right, Admiral Byrd wrote that there were lands.
Hold on, Ross. We're just trying to make sure that everybody can hear what's going on.
I'm here. So Ross just said a bunch of stuff with no evidence again. And
he about Admiral Byrd again. I just quoted Admiral Byrd. Just listen to the video as he was making the claim about Admiral
I have the
Byrd.
video. I have the video right
Byrd,
here.
I talked about the.
I said go read Admiral Byrd's writings.
All right, like I say, let's try to make some space for each other.
I don't know what book you read, but I listened to. You said listen to his interview. I listened to Admiral Byrd speak the words himself.
Okay, and in the interview he talked about
Antarctica.
In the interview, he described the Antarctica as basically miles above sea level, and he described the Arctic, the North Pole, as 10,000, I think he said, feet below sea level. In that interview, that's the one you're talking about?
Due to a curve, yeah.
No. Yeah, the way he described it is that we're in an Antarctic basin. The Antarctica is basically above us, and the Arctic Circle is basically a small circle in the middle, like a pond. That's what he described in that interview. But I brought up the interview to talk about the mineral deposits, that he found over there, and he also talked about all the expeditions that they were allegedly supposed to be leading over there that now have gone extinct. But if you read his writings, he talked. I said if you read his writings. If you read his writings, he talks about land on the other side of Antarctica as big as the United States.
In Antarctica.
On the other side of Antarctica, sir.
In Antarctica.
The specific words were beyond Little America, which could be construed as on the Antarctic so-called continent. There's no necessarily proof that Byrd actually discovered continents beyond Antarctica.
Right. I'm like that. I'm not offering this as proof whatsoever.
I'm not offering
He's learning it from other flat earthers. He's not actually reading it himself. Is the problem here with Ross? He's not reading this from Admiral Byrd's own words. He's
what makes you think that?
Other people.
What makes you think that?
Because it's you.
Because it's me. What does that mean?
All right. I jump in the.
All right, let's let Craig jump on in here.
Admiral Byrd saying that.
How do you know?
All right, I said we're gonna let Craig in, guys. Come on.
Okay, so the thing about magnetic declination, you notice how he said if the Earth is a spheroid, an ellipsoid, or, 3 sphere type things, but magnetic declination is just the movement of the magnetic poles because there's magnetic field shifts, and we know that there's no issue. And it wasn't that the maps were necessarily wrong, is that they weren't aligning up with compasses because we weren't aware of magnetic declination. They had to do a bunch of explanations to actually figure out where the correct magnetic poles were so that they could align the compasses correctly and position the maps right.
Craig.
But none of that
match the flat Earth model correctly, because the flat Earth model says the stars rotate above it, and if the stars
all right, sorry. All right, so if he's saying he's not finished his thought, so if you could wrap up your thought there so we can get some back.
In the middle of a sentence.
If you can carry on where you were, and we'll try to get some back and forth. 1 second,
so
Ross.
again, So once we figured out the exact amount of magnetic declination, we could know the difference between what the compass says and actually where the maps were. But that in no way, or in any way, shape, or form, shows that the Earth is flat. It in fact matches the predictions of the globe.
It just shows the map is wrong. It don't show the Earth is flat. You're right. It don't show the Earth is flat. You're right.
I haven't finished my fucking sentence.
Exactly.
Oh!
Expectation.
All right. 15 seconds, Craig. If we can put.
I want 1 minute.
You want
please.
1 full minute? Well, if you're getting a minute, then they will get a minute as well. So just hold on one, fellas.
Every time I spoke, they interrupted me. So
I just need unequal talking time.
I would like to have a bit of bloody
Shushy, guys. I swear, like, I don't like it when people can't unmute themselves, but if you start abusing it, I'm just going to go and select it so you guys can unmute yourself. And if you ask Oz, when I do that, I sometimes forget to unmute people, and they just sit there like, sorry, you know? So, like, don't make me do that. Go ahead, Craig. Let's try to wrap it up.
Have equal talking time if you let us finish our sentences so we didn't have to keep repeating ourselves. Okay, literally all I was trying to say is that magnetic declination doesn't show that the maps are wrong. The current maps match what magnetic declination says. They may have been slightly wrong in the past until we corrected for magnetic declination. Magnetic declination is a thing that is predicted by our current model of the globe, and all of the current maps take that into account and are not incorrect. That is all I was trying to say. See how quick that would have been done if they.
It wasn't quick. It wasn't quick. All right, hurry up though. Okay, so listen. Not only are the maps wrong.
I didn't finish my sentence.
I thought you said you were done.
I thought that was true.
No, you were telling us how quick you were done.
Still talking.
All right.
I was still talking.
He technically does have 44 seconds, so yeah, if you have more to add to that, you did say I'm.
Why did they get a minute, but we only get 10 seconds?
But why is it I can't finish my sentence and say I'm done?
Stop with the meta debate. Come on, stop with the meta.
All right, guys. All right, you got your minute. You got your minute. Let's.
I haven't had the minute. I haven't had my minute. How long have I got?
You still got 33 seconds.
You see how he's taking more time up doing this, right? This is a
Ross, I'm going to boot you if you keep it up. Knock it off.
They've interrupted my minute then. If they've interrupted my minute, I would like the minute to restart because I didn't get to finish what I was saying about an interruption.
All right, I will give you, I can give you 40 seconds, and then I've got to give them fair time. That's just the way it works here. So
if they interrupt, then I'm just going to start again. That's cool because I just want to try and actually say the thing.
I guess Craig runs this. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
You will get equal talking time. Just, I think it's a fair. Oh, look, I hit the button.
I've asked nicely. I've asked very politely to have some time without being interrupted.
Right. Craig always does this when he knows he's losing.
We're still doing our meta. So okay, 40 seconds. 40 seconds, Craig. 40 seconds. Let's just get right to it.
Okay. Right. I'm going to clarify what I was saying. Magnetic declination is taken into account in our current model. The maps are not wrong. They may have been wrong in the past. They are not wrong now. That took about 15 seconds, right? The entire thing could have been done if I didn't get interrupted. I will let you know when I'm done. I'm not done yet. I'm going to use my time to point out something. When I am speaking, I will let people know when I'm done by actually stopping and saying. The constant interruptions are making the debate impossible. If they cannot talk like adults, then it simply needs to be minute for us, minute for them. Okay, I'm done.
All right, that was right on time. So we will give each of you up to a minute there, just because, like, yeah, that took a little bit of time, and I know you've been being patient to a certain degree.
Like 5 minutes, but sure, we'll take a minute.
Well, a minute for each of you. I think that's fair. Go ahead, Real Offended.
Okay, well, I just want to for sure point out, and I don't like the meta debate stuff because Craig always does this when he knows he has no arguments. All right, but Craig interrupts every single person when they start talking. This is not negotiable. I guarantee you he'll interrupt me again, so I don't even have to replay the tape because he will interrupt again. I promise. I can't even believe that he has a nerve to complain about it. But again, that's his filibuster tactic. All right. So with the Admiral Byrd thing on the other side of Antarctica, anybody that has not been over there, right, but is trying to tell you that they know for sure there's no land over there, understand that you're living in the Truman Show, all right? That's 100% what it feels like. Remember in the Truman Show? I want to go explore. You know what his teacher said? You can't do that, Truman. You know why? All the land has been explored. That's what Ozien and Craig are trying to do to you guys right now. And maybe the people in the audience who are trolling us in the comments, maybe you're on that team, right? You want to make sure we stay here in the Truman Show circle while you guys get to move on to the other lands as the sun processes. and I'm not mad at you. I respect it. I get it. But you're not gonna make me feel dumb. Like,
5
I don't
seconds.
see what's going on. All right.
All right, 1 minute on the floor. Over to you, Ross, and then we got to let Oz in here, of course, because he's been very patient waiting for you guys to make this round. So go ahead, Iron Horse.
Yeah, cool. I'll just wake myself up and see if I can get a word in edgewise again. Is basically the flat Earth model is working on exactly the same observations that the globe believes in, except, you know, as we see through time lapse of the star trails, we can see that even Polaris does have that slight wobble, as we call it, and that is exactly what is creating the electromagnetic forces that we are detecting in the first place. So right from the very beginning, when we began navigating using the magnetic compass, all compasses are going to be drawing in circles, and so that little drift is the magnetic declination he's talking about. It's got nothing to do with us spinning and hurtling through the vacuum of space at, you know, millions of miles per hour. This is just observation that we live on the stationary plane of Earth, where our magnetic forces and the 15 degree per hour drift we often do predict or detect is coming from the sun. And the sun is what is going around Polaris. Everything is going around Polaris. I mean, I could explain the southern star trails as well, but obviously I'll never get enough time to explain that, because it's a debate where you get bugger all time. But obviously Craig gets to repeat himself 15 times over before I get one word in edgewise.
I'm sorry if you feel things worked out that way. I've tried to keep it fair for who's been trying to inject and get their points in there. But yes, 1 second there, Craig. We are going to hand the floor over to Oz. So we got 2 minutes left, and we're going to try to spread that around. So go ahead there, Oz.
Yeah, if
You're really quiet, Oz.
the stars are not magnetic, otherwise compasses would point towards the stars. So that's obviously falsified right there. Yay, easy. Another thing, maps. Hey, we have these cool things called satellites and GPSs and geodesic surveying. We've mapped the Earth out pretty darn good. The only thing we haven't totally mapped out entirely are the ocean floors, because guess what? Some parts of them are pretty deep, but we've actually done pretty good job of that. And also I have a score. My audience has given the globe a bunch of points, and flat nothing. Just pointed out. So, and if the stars were magnetic, when they passed over the oceans are diamagnetic, so they would be stopped, braked.
All right. I think, yeah, we've got quite a few questions. I think with the last minute, I'm going to use this to let our speakers know. Thank you so much for being here. And once again, you know, I'm doing my best to try to keep things fair for that 40-minute open discussion. But I do find that those rebuttal periods, you know, were pretty effective. You know, you can let us know in the comment section after the debate if you think that that was an effective way to try to get all the ideas on the table. But in the meantime, I'm going to let our debaters have a break if they want to go and have a drink of water or, you know, get rid of a drink of water they had earlier. Feel free to jump out now. No? All right. Let's move into audience questions then. So I'm going to put 30 minutes on the clock for now, and if we go over that, that is okay.
Can I, while we're getting these up, can I just like give a quick response to the just last thing that Ozien said?
No, we're gonna go into questions. All right, sorry, we got a lot of questions. You're gonna get more ideas. It's gonna launch us into new directions. There's questions for you too, Ross. So hopefully, if you want to get more on the table, we can meet up again.
Oh no, I'm not. It's totally fine. I mean, this is like cooked already. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, this is like we won in the first 5 minutes. Like, I don't need to say that much more.
No worries, no worries. We yeah, let's carry on. And to our super chat. So, what is it, Craig?
Right.
Sorry.
I just wanted to point out that you noticed that the minute that they each got went really quickly because no one interrupted.
Will you? You are just anyway. Funny. All right. So Aaron says prediction: there will be no evidence given for flat Earth, only poor attempts to attack the globe. So Iron Horse, I'll give you the floor first to let Aaron know what you think of, or Aaron, what you think of their commentary there. So they said that you have not presented any evidence.
Well, that's because this is a debate. You know, most of the time people already research the evidence before they bring it to the debate. I mentioned multiple things that debunk the globe. The globe debunks itself. It has no evidence of either the curvature or the motion, two of the most strongest requirements that it desires and must have. And when we do analyze the beliefs of the globe, they are so ridiculously, just stupendously impossible that the globers will just hand wave them away and say, oh, just shut up and believe it's all relative. They've got no evidence to support their claims whatsoever. You cannot have, as even Ross mentioned in the third body problem, you cannot have one thing orbiting another thing moving in a straight line and this thing orbiting the thing in a circle. It's just impossible. You cannot calculate it. It is impossible. We cannot have satellites. We cannot have the moon. Heliocentric model is just bunk.
Yeah, it defies the laws of physics. And since Craig mentioned, something about us not interrupting, I just want to mention that every time Craig talks, I can't unhear this. Craig sounds like the English version of the reporter lady from Family Guy. I'm not sure if anybody else hears that, but we are standing here to have a flat Earth debate today. Anyways.
Cool. That was probably the most intelligent thing you've ever said, Ross.
You do talk like that, though.
The speakers in my home were on for that. My wife can hear you at that point. My goodness.
She heard that part?
That something can do 2 or 3 different things at the same time. So yeah. I don't know what
it defies the laws of physics, Ozien.
You're not even moving. You're not even running down the road and have it move independently without you holding on to it.
All right, let's let Craig in to respond, and then last word.
He said exactly what I was going to say.
Last word's going to be for Iron Horse, but over to Craig.
Out of all the people here on this call, with respect, I am the only one with a degree in physics. So when you guys say it defies the laws of physics, as someone with a degree in physics, a first with honors, I am telling you, with my expert opinion, you are wrong.
Craig, please spare me of your banality.
Ross, all right,
Craig,
Ross.
Spare me of your banality.
I should say real offended. Iron Horse gets the last word. Iron Horse is going to get the last word here, and we're moving on. So go ahead there, other Ross. When I say Ross, I think real offended thinks I mean him. So I'll have to just Iron Horse. Go ahead. Last word.
Yeah, I think education is one of the best one to fool dumb people into thinking they're smarter than the smart people because they got a piece of paper. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard, to say that you've got a degree with honors and therefore you have more authority over the knowledge of reality.
Physics,
get a life.
I hope this is not a theme going forward with modern day debate. Like, I hope not that this is not a theme going forward. The other night we had 2 Bens. And now we have 2 Rosses. Oh, my life. Anyway, you guys kept me busy, though. I appreciate it. It's moments like this that I'm exercising those moderation skills.
I'm an uneducated idiot, and Craig is correct about physics.
Well, just so you know, having a physics degree makes it worse. You have a physics degree, and you're getting cooked by 2 people that don't have physics degrees. Pish posh. Pish posh.
All right, we're moving to the next question.
So here's the thing. When I teach my students, as I'm a private tutor, physics and maths, and they all pass, why is that?
Because anybody can do simple math. It's not difficult.
Yeah, it's memorization.
They pass by being wrong at physics.
All right, Craig, we're going to move to the next question.
Ridiculous.
We got lots of questions, so thank you to our audience.
I'm a PhD.
1 second, Ross. Oh, my goodness. Do I have to pop over there and mute you every 5 seconds? What's going on, buddy? Why are you making life so hard for me tonight? You know that that's not how I like to roll. I like to keep things really chill. I think the only person I haven't muted actually is Oz. So congrats to you for just, being the best behaved person here today is fun. All right, so
hold on. Oz is the only adult here. Good job.
Okay, so we're gonna move into the next super chat.
I'll agree on that.
Thank you to all of our super chatters, and also anybody who hit the like button to boost us up in the algorithm. When I asked earlier, I saw a huge surge in the likes there, and that definitely helps us out. So LJ asks, how were solar eclipses predicted pre-globe model?
They weren't.
Not accurately.
Yeah. Who was the question to?
This is for you and Oz, so you guys can pad this back and forth.
He wants to hear Saurus cycles, but Saurus cycles didn't predict eclipses or paths of totality. And he wants to hear about Babylonian yada 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 nonsense.
So
Not only
obviously,
did we have the Antikythera device back about 2,000
That
years
was
ago,
for us.
it was also predicting the color red that the moon would change.
Hello. No, can I?
It's a good way to mute you, just to talk
No,
over
no,
you.
every time I talk, every
Well, if you're just going to be rude, Iron, come on. Don't just catcall about how you're going to talk over him.
I mean, they were talking over him, though. That's why I pointed that out. He's been getting interrupted a lot.
I'm trying.
I just don't let it happen to me.
Once again, they're doing it again. So, okay, can I say my thing now, or is that right? I just wait, make sure everyone's got out their system.
Just go ahead.
Brilliant. Yeah. So in the past, yeah, they would use simple things like observations of the cycles to make rough predictions of almost when eclipses would be, but they would never include things like the path of totality, the exact time, the exact place. That can only happen using the current barocentric model of the globe.
Well, that's exactly what I'm already saying, Craig, to debunk you. The Antikythera device 2,000 years ago was predicting the color of the shade of red that the moon will turn in a lunar eclipse thousands of years ago.
All right,
they had it down to science.
Sorry, this question was for them, so we'll give them the last word. But yeah, there are lots of questions for you fellas too.
The Antikythera device is completely false. There's no evidence of that at all. They still don't actually know exactly what that device was for. It certainly didn't predict colors. Wherever he got that from is complete nonsense. Ozien, I think you should get the final word here.
It's complete
nonsense. Actually, they used the wrong date for the last eclipse, and I think they got the distance to the moon wrong, and they made a mistake. They had to make a correction, and a lot of people use that. Oh, see, NASA can't do it. Well, that's because somebody inputted the wrong data to begin with. So that's why and it was just a minor correction.
We've been predicting eclipses for thousands of years, long before we ever thought the Earth was a ball spinning through space. End of story.
Just ignoring
the last word.
Okay, brilliant.
All right, that was the last word from the other side. So LJ has another question here. I'm going to try to keep this a little, a little bit more controlled here, guys. Like, you can't all just be...
Yeah, you're doing a great job, Ryan.
Oh, boy, you guys keep me busy, I'll tell you. All right. Oh, no, there's the Nova Scotian. Oh, I said, geez, boys, I tell you. All right, LJ, if you weren't ever taught the globe, what would lead you to believe in your everyday experiences we are living on a spinning space ball with curved seawater? So you first there, Oz, to respond to LJ.
I lived on the ocean, so I would have seen things vanish over the water, just like ancient people did, and I am very intelligent. We would have discovered the same thing, just like ancient people did.
Jesus
Christ. Absolutely. As a sailor myself, as well as Oz, I've spent many years at sea. Basic observations would tell me that the Earth is clearly not flat and must be spherical. Plus simple observations of things like weather patterns, and that would lead me to questions as to why it is happening. The answer is that the Earth is rotating. Basic observations of reality and being smarter than toe fungus generally helps you figure these things out.
There was actually a website that is called Ask a Mathematician, and somebody asked the question is, would the horizon exist and how different would it appear if the Earth was flat? And they came back and said it would look identical to what it actually looks, because all your horizon is actually back-engineered off reality that we observe on the stationary planet Earth.
That's a 100% fact what he just said.
That requires a source. Is completely false. There's no reason for.
We can break it down historically.
Ross,
actually, this is a historical.
Last word for them. It's their question. Next question is going to be for you guys. Don't worry. So go ahead there, Craig, and then Oz, if you have anything to add.
Mathematically, there is absolutely zero reason for there to be a defined horizon if the Earth is flat. Certainly not a horizon that increases with distance as you raise in elevation. That is only possible and exclusive to a spherical surface. Oz, any final words?
Yeah, I've seen the same website, and it does talk about that as you go up in elevation, that the horizon drops.
The horizon should actually keep dropping more and more.
That was last word, Iron Horse. Like I said, we got to try to move through the questions because there could be a lot more that come through. So Screwy Louie asks, question to the flat Earth. So I'm going to bounce it over to you, Iron Horse. Question to the flat Earth. Assuming that day and night and the seasons are due to sun's proximity, when is the sun closest to me? Summer night when it's dark but warm, or winter day when it's cold but light?
Well, that's a multifaceted question there, actually. And the sun itself is not hot. The heat itself comes from the atmospheric gases as they fluoresce through the daytime. As you can reasonably easily notice, as you just step into the shade of a tree, it suddenly gets like 10 degrees cooler. So if we were talking about a sun 93 million miles away, we wouldn't notice a significant change just by stepping a few feet into the shade. Heat actually comes from the light, and the most direct light from the sun appearing through the least amount of atmosphere is what creates the most heat. So, of course, when the sun is lowest to us, that's when the southern outer sphere of the equator is having summer. And as it gets higher and higher, even though it's getting further and further away from us, the direct light still comes through to the northern center, making a smaller and smaller circuit, which still creates their summer season, and the indirect light creates the winter. So it's got really nothing to do with the proximity of the sun or the sun itself actually creating heat. It's the light.
All right. Hopefully, by giving you the first response there, Iron Horse, I can make up for if you felt like I gave you a lack of time there earlier. Like I say, I do apologize if that's how things played out. I always check things out and try to make sure I'm being fair. But Ross, other Ross, Real Offended, if you'd like to add to that.
No, we can keep it pushing. Like, it's not exactly anything I have any new insight on. So I'll let him have the last word on that.
Okay, so we'll let the other side respond if they'd like to, and then last word for Iron Horse.
Ozien, sorry, I had to let the dog out. I didn't hear, so over to you.
Question was, when is the sun closest to the Earth?
Question to flat Earth. So, yeah, if you guys aren't sure what Iron Horse had said there, and we'll just carry on. I think that's a good idea.
Well, I can quickly respond to this. If the sun was close and local, and we were in a prison planet with a dome, we would have a problem with thermodynamics and with heat capture, and global warming would be much more severe. So I don't know how we would generate heat. The way we get heat now is from infrared radiation from the sun mostly, and some geothermal with the Earth itself, of course. And we capture some radiation, and then anything that's above 0 degrees Kelvin, of course, releases infrared heat and captures in the atmosphere, and it heats up the planet.
And somebody had the nerve to call what I said word salad. I actually explained that we have a firmament above us, which is approximately about 70 miles high, which is more than likely made of frozen hydrogen with a sea of superfluid helium through it. And when the sun is about 3,000 miles high above it, or whatever the source might be, it creates that plasma orb shielded by the helium, which is our first sign of the sun. But it's the atmosphere itself below about 12 to 14 miles high where the blue light actually exists of daylight. And that's where we see our direct, our personal apparition of the sun, as I know you've had trouble understanding in the past. And that is what creates the source of the heat. The nearer to it is to our low proximity, either side of the equator, is what determines the seasons.
All right, we got to carry on to the next question, guys.
Helium frozen.
Hold on. If we
The question was for us. We get the last word.
If we just keep corresponding,
Sorry.
Hold on, Ross. I can utilize the mutes when I need to, but usually everybody will listen. You don't have to yell. So Thunderstorm says, "Earth is not a sphere. The Earth is a polyhedron, a dodecahedron, giving flat and sphere scientific results."
Yeah, tell him to stop playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he means by that. A dodecahedron? That's clearly not true.
Don't ever tell anybody to stop playing Dungeons and Dragons. What is wrong with you, Craig?
If anything, far better.
A new tabletop role-playing game soon, a Star Trek real-play game done by Dapper Dino, where I will be playing Lieutenant Commander Terran Shelby aboard USS Lexington. I cannot wait.
Okay, so let's get back to the topic.
Please.
What you're actually describing is because of the lack of curvature and the lack of motion we've ever seen on the globe Earth, Actually, a cube Earth supports their model even better because obviously somewhere all this lack of curvature must compensate for where it doesn't exist. And so if all of a sudden, we just reach the edge into a cube and we suddenly don't even realize we flipped over, well, that actually makes more sense than the spinning space ball model. The cube Earth actually works better than the globe.
But you do actually sense.
Oh, sorry.
You do actually sense Coriolis.
Yeah.
As a change in weight.
No,
there's no change in. There's no change in weight.
Change in weight between the and the poles. That's verified. Yeah. Ross, if you understood physics, it would be impressive.
All right.
Saying it doesn't make it so.
We got more questions, guys. LJ, why don't we have real videos of asteroids hitting the moon?
We do. There's actually several of them on YouTube.
This guy.
Just saying there isn't. These kind of questions are said. I thought it was. Why don't we have a video of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica? We do. Here we go. Why don't we have a video of asteroids hitting the moon? We do. Here we go.
I have a video of Matt Damon on Mars.
Okay, and I seen the landing on the moon.
Right. Exactly.
No, okay. No, I don't get to finish my sentence. So, yeah, you guys will just claim they're fake anyway. So it doesn't matter. Them to you it doesn't matter. They exist. You will deny them because you're all morons.
All right, we have lots of questions, so many in fact that I just reset the timer, so I'm going to set another 30-minute timer. We were at 15 minutes in and I realized so many questions were pouring in. Yeah, we'll try to move through these and try to get the thoughts out on the table. Yeah, let's see if we can get into some new territory. And thank you once again to all of our speakers for being here, Ross, Ozien, and also FTFE. You can find them in their own spaces. They're all going to be linked in the description. Hopefully, anyways, if we have your link, we will try to make sure that it's available to you. So if you like what you're hearing, check them out. So LJ asks again. This is for Oz and FTFE. So LJ, even when we're not having a flat Earth debate, LJ usually is here asking questions. Even when we're just like debating other things, like we were debating, is God real with two doctors and two Bens last week.
No.
So yeah, he's always
nothing
there
unreal
questions.
Exists. Everything is real. There's nothing that's not real.
All right. LJ asks, why in 2024 we don't have a camera on the moon yet?
Man.
We do.
There's several cameras on the moon. Their batteries died.
Then submit a photo so I can get $100,000 from you.
This is their question.
A photo of what?
Of the full Earth.
Okay, 1969 blue marble.
Submit it, okay? Later. Submit it.
I already have done. But cameras on the moon. The batteries died a long time ago. So I don't know. It's a stupid question.
All right,
we got to discover Epic camera that sends 22 photos back a day on average.
All right, Iron Horse wants to jump in here, guys, and then you'll get the last word.
No, I'm just saying we've seen how they faked that on the video revealed many years ago. And the funny thing happened on the way to the moon, how they took the picture of it. It was only in a high altitude aircraft. It's not even half the height of what we see high altitude weather balloon footage these days, where we can see how perfectly flat and stationary it is.
All right, go over to you, Craig.
Number one, the funny thing happened on the way to the moon still claims that it was in space when they took that, not as far away as that, not on high altitude aircraft, still actually in space.
Yeah,
Number
like
two, Panda's
space.
channel did a lovely debunk of that entire thing. We have pictures. You guys claim they're fake. There's no evidence they're fake. The negatives for the 1969 blue marble exist in the museum for you to go and see yourself.
1969 blue marble. That's what you're submitting as a real photo?
Final word on that.
Okay.
Yep, that is fair. So the next super chat is coming in. Look of Vatan. I'm not sure. Maybe I said that wrong. Whenever you host a flat Earth debate, there should be a number up for psychiatric counseling. Oh, you're making friends tonight. It sounds like Lukava. And how to get help from a mental health professional. Yeah. For anybody who wants that, seek mental health. But as for what you're saying there, that's they put in a big super chat too. I feel like we should move on because it's just kind of rude.
Yeah.
Just tell him to drop a bit of or something.
I do this for purely to educate other people and to hopefully help other people that are on the fence. I mean, if you're on the fence, please come and find me on X. It's Ozien Talks, and talk to me, and I'll help you get off the fence.
You know, I want to make just a quick comment.
Come talk to me on my channel. There's no reason to believe the Earth is flat. It is ridiculous.
You know, I want to say I do like Ozien. I think Ozien is a great person to talk to about this. I think he's very honest. I'm not quite sure about Craig. There's a great channel called Mind Shock that does a great number on Craig. And he had a recent video where he had a recent video. He had a recent video where he was talking about how there are certain people he thinks that are on the globe side that he thinks are honest and just lost in the sauce like Ozien. He said, but some of the people, you could tell by the look on their face, there's no way they could be making arguments this bad unless they were working for the other team. He like fully maintains that Craig is like a full agent that is a flat earther. And I might believe him a little bit because Craig is a nice guy behind closed doors. Craig actually smokes weed behind closed doors, then try to call me a hippie. How funny is that, right? See, Craig is a different guy behind closed doors. He's actually a flat earther, but he just does this because he's paid by the other side. Cut Craig some slack.
I'm paid by YouTube. That's it. And I called the other Ross a hippie.
Yeah, I bet you are. Yeah, you paid by the YouTube Censorship Bureau.
YouTube Censorship Bureau.
Yes, Operation Mockingbird. Okay, they have CIA agents that work at all multimedia companies. That's who pays you.
Hold on.
CIA agents that work at YouTube and pay me. Fucking.
That's
brilliant.
Correct.
Hold
That's
on.
correct.
Hold
Craig.
on.
Craig.
Are you telling me
That's
that
correct.
are you telling me that I'm supposed to be smoking weed behind closed doors? Anyways,
I
no. I'm just joking. Oh man.
The bong is a globe. Come on.
No, but Ryan, if you're a flat earther, I would suggest that you believe it behind closed doors like Craig. All right.
Well,
Don't bring it to the forefront. Be like Craig. Believe it behind closed doors. All right.
You
know what? And you know what, Craig? I told you I wasn't gonna do this, but I'll be honest. Fine. You know what, Craig? I have to betray your trust. I have to betray Craig's trust.
Oh no, what's happening?
Craig told me behind closed doors that he's a flat earther. He told me. I told him I wasn't gonna tell anybody, but he told me that.
All right,
yeah,
Craig.
I'm a flat earther, guys. Everyone knows it's true.
That's what he told us. Yes.
He told me. I'm saying he's like, listen. I just do this because I get paid. I used to work for the military. Didn't you used to work for the military, right, Craig? I used to work for the military. I got deployed. This is my new assignment. I trick people on.
I left the military like.
I thought for sure he was making a parody, but I think he's being serious. What's going on?
I'm halfway joking. But Craig's arguments really aren't that bad. His arguments aren't that bad, though.
Have you been trolling? What's going on?
They're bad.
All right. LJ asks, if you dig straight down, will you come out upside down?
Right. So,
I don't know why I made a sound effect.
Straight down.
Sorry.
And just dig, as you got to the center of Earth, you would just float because that's at the point where gravity would be equal all around you. If there was already a hole straight through Earth and you jumped in from the top, you would accelerate as you got towards the middle and then decelerate as you went out the other side, and you would just come out the other side.
In the hypothetical event of this question being a real thing, in fact, you'd probably get crushed because we know for a fact is if we put water into a vacuum, the water will start to boil. And so that would therefore indicate too, as we got higher and higher above air pressure, we would boil. So therefore, if we got lower and lower in the greater pressure, our water would actually get crushed and compacted, and water can't handle that much pressure and would just burst and be an empty blob of goo.
No one's suggesting we're going to jump into a hole through Earth. This is just a thought experiment, ignoring all the stuff that would happen. Okay.
And we know that the temperature of water boiling gets higher and higher the further deeper we go underground.
Don't need to worry about that. We're not. It's just a thought experiment. Calm down.
Well,
okay.
Keep it as
Nata asks, Ironhorse, we got the next question coming in. So that was a question for them. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we got to carry on. Nata asks, air traffic control uses radar for aircraft position. High altitude planes can be seen over 100 plus miles, yet even over flat terrain, we lose low-level aircraft quickly. If flat, why does this happen? Real Offended, you're on the floor first.
I mean, this could be explained by a lot of different factors. I mean, even just the attenuation rate of light, but of course you have atmospheric disturbance and you have all type of physical obstruction. Like I said in some of my other debates, when my older brother and one of my best friends first tried to introduce me to flat Earth, they're like, "Hey, look, check out this flat Earth video." I was like, "Listen, I don't want to look at the video. Okay, I already know what the Earth is. Nobody knows what shape the Earth is." That was that. I've always maintained that position. We don't know what shape the Earth is. We're not allowed to explore it all the way. All right. So nobody knows what shape the Earth is. The Earth could be mountainous, terrainous. It could be some dips and then some mountains. So there's all type of explanations for that simple answer, for that simple question.
There's nothing to block radar signals in the atmosphere.
There's mountains, there's buildings, there's all sorts of things. Wave attenuation through thicker and thicker atmosphere means they're going to move slower and slower, whereas the higher they got, actually the more effective they would work, but you're going to have more obstacles closer to the surface. I don't see how this is a problem. Plus, then you've also got the divergence factor, as we'd see. Like, for example, if we shone a laser light across a lake, by the time it hits a whiteboard on the other side, it looks like the size of a basketball or bigger, because light actually expands over distance, and radio waves are a form of light transmission that's just not in the visible spectrum. And so they are just diverging over greater and greater distance, which is exactly what you'd expect over distance above a flat surface.
So 94.5 megahertz radio station. If you're further away, it gets slower. The frequency changes. So you need, according to Ross, Iron Horse, if you're further away from the radio station, the frequency should be different. According to what you just said right now, Ross, the signal, the frequency doesn't change if you get further away from the radio station, Ross.
It's just what we've just discussed.
You said it gets slower, Ross.
No, weaker.
You said it got slower.
Diverge.
So
I didn't say
attenuates. The signal, the power level gets lower, attenuates by the inverse square law, but you have detectors. So the detectors are very sensitive. You send it out at a very specific frequency, and you have detectors that are tuned to detect that very specific frequency. I can have a radio that can travel 2,000 miles. Marconi.
Yes, all this debunks your position. I'm not sure if you're just unaware.
No, it doesn't.
100%. And the inverse, and this is our question, so we get the last word. And the inverse square law, especially if you apply it to light, it's literally impossible for the stars to be the distance that you guys claim. Just using the inverse square of law, the inverse square. This is I get the last word on this. All right. So just using the inverse square, just using the inverse square law of light alone, the stars can't be as far as they say.
All right.
Prove it.
Andreas Eldith says Earth is 29% land and 71% sea, and seawater is flat. It may be salty, but it is not carbonated. Oh.
Gravity exists.
Quack, 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 quack. That was a joke. That's a dad joke. It's not carbonated.
Gravity is electrostatic acceleration.
No, it's not.
All right.
It can't be because
I'm sorry. I interrupted Iron Horse. My bad, Iron.
Oceans are diamagnetic.
I don't think there's a whole lot here. Andreas, I think, just really wanted to make a dad joke. So good on you, Andreas. I appreciate you and keeping it light and funny.
Listen, dude. If gravity's electrostatics, the conductivity of ocean water is basically zero. It was short out over the oceans. Your whole theory makes absolutely zero sense. If it's electromagnetism,
that's not an argument. That's not an argument.
Oceans are diamagnetic.
Saying it makes zero sense isn't an argument.
1 second, Ron.
It was short out over the oceans. You have no idea what you don't understand.
That's also not an argument.
Matter. You don't understand.
We don't know. Let me guess. We don't know.
If you did, you would short circuit your argument right there.
That's not an argument.
Oceans were zero resistance.
Great. If we knew the subject, if we knew the subject, we would short circuit.
All right.
What kind of argument is that? That's not an argument.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile. That's their arguments, guys. Resistance is futile. Am I living in idiocracy?
All right. Just 1 second. And
Yes,
just and
you
Ross, just 1
You
second.
are.
Just as somebody who does a lot of metal vocalists like stuff, like I do a lot of singing in metal and rock. Don't get closer to your mic when you're getting louder, okay? Like just try to make sure that you back away a
my
little
mic's
bit.
on my head.
You can't be screaming. Like I was gonna say,
Yeah, no,
there's
so
many
sorry
metal
about that.
screams that you can't do.
Sorry
in
about
the,
that, but yeah,
like
they don't
this,
offer
right?
any arguments.
Oh,
Their
man.
arguments are just you don't know anything.
Yes,
If you
please.
knew something, your argument would short circuit. It's just resistance is futile, and that's why like this
You're doing it
idiocracy.
again. Hold on, Russ. You're
What is
yelling
it?
in your mic again.
You are wrong.
I'm
away.
sorry. I don't know my own.
It
I'm
took
sorry.
me 2 months to teach you electrical theory. Literally 2 months.
It would take me too much. That's your argument. Okay, good.
2
We heard
months.
you.
That's a good
Good
range.
argument.
That's a good range
2
right there.
months.
Good argument.
Weeks. It
We
would
better
take
get
me
back-
8 weeks to teach you electrical theory.
You don't
I
even
could-
know
Okay.
electrical theory, Ozien?
All right.
He
All right.
does. What degree in
I
it?
do.
Okay.
Okay.
We will have a chance to.
Even
I
more
have
embarrassing,
32
you
years of
you have a degree
experience.
and you still don't understand how it works.
All right, we're gonna move on, guys.
I have an electromechanical engineering.
Even
technology
more
degree.
embarrassing.
Hold on, Ross.
Stop
Ross,
embarrassing
Ross.
yourself.
He's been trying to say something 3 times over now, so let's let Oz say his piece, and then we're gonna let you. Who is this question for? Hold on. Yeah, this is just a joke question. So yeah, Oz, if you want to just clarify the last point, let's just carry on.
It wasn't a joke question.
The one about it may be
They
salty,
say
but
the
it
Earth
is
is
not
flat
carbonated.
because water always seeks its level, and the argument is water always seeks its level. 71% of the Earth is water. The end part is a joke, but the overall thing isn't a joke. People will argue that because water always seeks its level, 71% of the Earth is water, that ergo the Earth is flat. But gravity exists, so gravity and water always is hydrostatics. Water always conforms to whatever shape the forces exert against water.
It's
And
All right.
he says gravity's electrostatics,
5
but
seconds.
electrostatics doesn't explain why things falls, and electrostatics is positive and negative based upon the charge, and you can do the
Okay.
Coulomb's experiment, and
We need to move
the
on.
independent variables for the Coulomb's experiment is the charge and the distance between the charges.
Ozien, we
The
are all
masses.
falling asleep.
One-
I respect you, but Jesus Christ.
Well, I understand the
Ross.
subject.
Okay,
Never get
we
it.
do need to move on, but yeah, I did want to give you a chance to wrap up your point there. But
Ozien, next time you talk, dude, hold like a video of Subway Surfers or something underneath you. It might help.
anyways, we had 703 votes in our poll here. I'm logged into the other account, so I can't see the likes right this second. But if you do have thumbs, if you're the type of person that you get your food in your mouth on the first try, maybe hit the like button. That's not asking too much. Hopefully. Regardless of where you're watching this, hit that like button. We appreciate it. The Earth is a globe. 56% voted it is a globe. The Earth is flat. 29% voted for that. And the Earth is a halo world. I need a weapon. 14%. Oh, my fellow Halo fans. Thank you so much.
I voted for the Halo.
Halo's gonna
no truth is not a democracy. Gandhi was famous for saying that.
in 2025 they're going to be releasing the Master Chief Collection on the PS5.
Yeah, not only are we living in a halo, but they're trying to keep us on one level while they explore the other levels. And I have a good mind to say that FTFE and Ozien are part of the people that want to keep you there. That's why they're trying to pretend like there's no land on the other side of Antarctica. That's the only reason why they even came up with the globe. Like Ross said earlier, they reverse engineered our flat specs
This
that
wasn't
we
even a
had
question,
basically for
but-
all of human history to make the globe. All right.
All right.
They're trying to hide the other land because we're in the Truman Show. All right, this is Attack on Titan for all my anime fans.
It's not real.
Attack on Titan. Think about it. It's Attack on Titan. There's the rest of the world. Then there's a small corner of the world that they're keeping the slaves in. That's you and me, I guess.
All right,
These things are not real.
So I'm going to start a
Ross.
new poll, and it's going to be who is the most compelling speaker tonight. This is just for fun, but yeah, you can let us know who you found the most compelling on our topic tonight. So just give me a second and I'll have that in the live chat. In the meantime, let's carry into the next question. So I'm going to scroll up there and let's see. RN says there were 4 high-profile experiments this year, just during the eclipse, that demonstrated the relativity is a fact. Ross, you're wrong once again. You have to specify which Ross, but
he's talking to me. At least I think, because I always talk about this, but that's absolutely ridiculous. And I know for a fact you don't have those resources. Dude, what is going? Am I being interrupted? No way I'm being interrupted, right? Not by the complainer, not by the guy who made this whole. If I could just get 1 minute, not by that guy.
Oh no!
I just want to talk uninterrupted. That's it.
You guys are too animated. All right, let's go.
I just want to talk uninterrupted. I just want to do that.
All right,
can I talk uninterrupted?
Finish up your thought there, Ross, and we'll.
Remember, I said earlier he was going to do this, so expect it. Remember, I said earlier he was going to do this. All right. Remember, I said earlier he was going to do this. All right,
Ross. If you can't see what I'm doing right now, it just proves your intelligence level, my friend.
What? That you're filibustering? I said it at the beginning. That's what you do. But Craig, but this is the point, Craig. You lost in the first 5 minutes. You don't have any argument. I'm beating on a child. So I'll let you filibuster. Go ahead. What do you want to say, Craig? Go ahead. I'll let you. You have nothing to say. Go ahead.
Dude, I was just pointing out a lot of things. Everyone with a brain can see what I was doing there.
What? What were you doing?
It's all right. You don't have a brain. You can't see it.
Explain it to us.
No, you wouldn't get it. It's okay.
Okay. So why are you interrupting me if you don't have anything to say? Stop ruining the show.
Right,
you know, listen, I gave you the floor. Listen, I gave you the floor. If you have something to say, say it.
So you wouldn't understand. It's cool. Don't worry.
Okay. Anyways, like I said, we're living in the Truman Show. This is Attack on Titan, right? And they're doing everything they can to pretend like there's not more land on the other side of Antarctica when there in fact is, according to the people that explored that land. All right. So just saying things. All right. Just saying things like they did experiments this year that prove Eddington wrong. No, they didn't. All right. Craig made that bet. Right. And I brought up over 50 years of resources of people talking about how Eddington was a fraud. This is 100% true. Craig owes me $20,000 based upon that. So whoever wrote that comment, if you want to come to my channel after, maybe I'll pop over to Ozien's after this. Maybe after that, if you want to come to my channel, bring those resources, I will bet you. And you can look like, you can be an ass better like Craig.
Okay. But you lost the bet because you just showed something from a philosophy major that doesn't know what
we are standing here because he lost the bet today.
Okay, Jupiter Darman asks a question. Let's respect our audience. What would all of you say if I told you the Earth was actually a pyramid? Twilight Zone music.
That's supposed to be Topsy. Who told him? Like, guys, what was his name? What was the
Jupiter Darman says, what would all of you say if I told you the Earth was actually a pyramid?
Darman. Yeah, just search the ISP. You can't know that.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's carry
take a shot. Okay, it's dealt with. No worries. All done.
Good.
No worries. We're done here.
All right. JSS Tiger says
no one that's actually ever explored Antarctica has ever said there is an ice wall. We call them ice shelves. And no one has ever said there is lands beyond Antarctica.
Right.
You are misquoting people. You are
Ozien is uninformed on the subject.
Okay, let's get Iron Horse back in here. JSS Tiger says, Flat Earthers, your very own Admiral Byrd talked about 24 hours of continuous daylight in Antarctica. You first there, Iron Horse.
I don't recall ever hearing anything about Admiral Byrd ever talking about a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. But even if we did, again, it's the same old argument, is that we're not going to be looking to the lights in the ceiling to determine the nature of the shape of the floor beneath us. We can do that through water level, through topography, through all other observations. There can be very rational explanations for why there might appear to be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I can think of 3 off the top of my head. Some of them take a little bit longer to explain, which is hardly the time and place to be doing it in a debate here, where it might take me a half-hour video to explain it, but it is possible to explain. And I've got them on my channel.
Okay, well, he follows up and says, Aristotle was proved completely wrong by Iron Horse. Timestamp 130. So it says
hilarious.
laughing LMAO at Aristotle was proved completely wrong in
I
quotation
look
marks.
forward to you picking up your Nobel Prize.
All right, well, let me respond to that real quick, because when you bring up Aristotle, you prove that you guys are in a religion 100%, right? It's because Aristotle proposed that the earth was a globe at a time when we did not have the evidence or the technology to support those experiments. So he proposed it as a philosophy, and people believed it as a philosophy, and that's fine. But then when philosophy turns to dogma, you become religious. That's what we have here. You guys are sun worshiping religious zealots, and you prove it when you bring up Aristotle, a philosopher who proposed this. Game, set, match.
No.
And
photographs.
Hold on. The question was to us. The question was to us. And like Iron Horse said,
hold
my
on,
bad.
Oz.
Like Iron Horse said, that's
thought.
inconsequential. All right, what's going on in the sky doesn't matter when we're talking about what's going on the floor. If my lights are circular, which they are, that doesn't mean that my floor is a globe or circular.
Over to Oz. All right, let's let him jump in.
No, because you're talking about me and what my claim is, so I can respond. And first of all, we have photographs from space. I don't appeal to Aristotle for what's true about the nature of reality. We build on the backs of giants. Aristotle is wrong about tons of stuff. No one appeals to Aristotle for
number one being the globe.
All right.
No one appeals to Aristotle for knowledge about the globe. It's history of knowledge is not modern knowledge. It's absurd.
It is.
All right,
it is. It's the three main claims that he has is that boats disappeared over the horizon back well before they had telescopes. Let's give them a Nikon P900 and see how they feel about that if we give one of them to Aristotle. The other one was that the Earth casts a round shadow on the moon during a lunar eclipse, which is if we just draw a flat ball shadow across any ball, we'll see a curved shadow. You don't actually get that from another ball anyway. And what was the other one? Oh, he had three, but yeah, none of them stand up to scrutiny. They've all been debunked.
Also, last thing, Ozien. Think about this. If your guys' evidence is we see boats go over the horizon, right? Okay, fine. So if we see boats go over the horizon, we also see the sun move. We don't see the earth move. So do visual observations, are they literal or are they illusion? They can't be illusion. Excuse me, they can't be illusion when we look at the sky. They can't be can't be illusion. They cannot. I'm still talking. I'm still talking. I'm still talking. I'm still talking.
All right, last 10 seconds.
They cannot be illusion when we look at the sky, but then literal when we look at the water. All right? Keep that same energy when you're talking about two different things. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Ahaz, you've done so well not to get muted. Just 1 second. Let's let him finish his thought. No matter if you don't like it, I'll let you have the floor.
It's double talk. It's double talk. Well, we see boats go over the horizon, but when we see the sun move, it's not really happening. Come on.
Away from the mic, Ross.
Don't care, because the question before was how if we lost all our technology, all of our knowledge, would we be able to learn the Earth was a globe? That was the previous question. I know the Earth is a globe, not because boats go over the horizon. So you're conflating two issues. I don't know the Earth is a globe because of what Aristotle taught. That's an entirely different claim. So you're conflating two entirely different claims. So, like, I'm not going to play the stupid semantic arguments that you're trying to claim that I'm trying to make, that I'm trying to appeal to knowledge.
Way to avoid the argument.
That's a lie, Ross. Right. I'm not doing that, Ross. I'm not appealing to Aristotle for knowledge,
I didn't
Ross.
say you were.
Stop lying about my claim.
I didn't say that.
I'm not doing that. Don't lie. Both of you lied about what I'm doing.
Don't lie.
Both of you lied. R-squared lied today. I'm not appealing to Aristotle for knowledge. We build upon the backs of giants for knowledge. You're both lying about what I
We already heard you say that. You're repeating yourself now. Come on. We know we're lying.
We have been to the moon. We have brought rocks back from the moon. You
All right.
guys are friggin' children.
Lying, right? We're lying.
Screaming
All right,
at the
all right.
screaming
Oz,
at the sky.
Oz,
and you
5
you
seconds, bud.
don't. Yeah, I'm done. You guys are children screaming at the moon.
All right.
How many times have you said we are standing on the shoulders of giants, particularly appealing to
Craig,
people
we
like
gotta
ours?
let the other side respond.
Okay, he asked me a question.
I didn't even
Standing
hear
on
the
shoulders
question.
of
What was the
giants
question?
that we
He was being
build a
interrupted the whole
folly-
time.
Hey,
He
from the
asked me a
microphone.
question.
Fuck's sake,
He
man.
asked me a question.
What was the question?
He
Can you
asked
repeat
me a
it?
question.
Can you repeat it for me? I didn't hear it.
He said how many times
Hold on.
I said we're standing on the shoulders
Oh,
of
okay,
giants.
okay. I swear to God, I didn't hear it. Okay, go ahead.
And you're
So
referring to
that-
Aristotle every single time. And that's my whole point. The third
No,
point was that it talks about the stars being changed as we travel through across the plane of Earth. We'd expect to see everything change, including the mountains, the cities, everything changes, including the stars. So all three arguments of the shoulders of the giant you're standing upon are debunked.
All right, so I do want to stop you guys there. We got lots more questions coming in, but I'm just reaching the end of the 30-minute timer that I had set there. So I'm just going to remind you all once again, if you want to take a moment to step out, grab anything that you might want to get. I know a couple of you might have already done that at some point during the questions, but if you guys want to step out, I'm going to remind everybody, smash that like button, slap it around like it owes you money. That's right. And, and if you have a question, we are going to carry on with the Q&A. So right now, who is the most compelling on our panel tonight? So we've actually had a really solid back and forth with Iron Horse and Ozien right now, bouncing between 26 and 25% between the two of them. And then Real Offended is sitting at 13%. He's coming up. He's going to make some arguments coming up here, guys. So you'll hear some more. And then FTFE is striking a win at 35%. So yeah, that's fun. Like I said, it's just for fun, and it just depends on who we have in our audience at the time. But if you are hanging out in the audience and you want to participate in the poll, we do encourage you. I'm going to set another 30-minute timer. We're going to head into another round of Q&A, guys. So hopefully, with a little injection here, we've reset the tone. And are we doing this, Ozien? Are we getting ourselves ready? We jazzing ourselves up?
That Gandhi is not democracy. So, sometimes the wash mashers are never the best ones to believe. But anyway.
Oh, it's a popularity contest.
Right. Well, and FTFE works for YouTube, so the YouTube algorithm pushes him up. He got a bunch of bots in there.
What were you saying, Ross?
I work for YouTube. He just gets 20 times more than I do. But I just got 10 more points for the Globe. Thank you for my audience. I just got 5 more points for the Globe. There's a little counter on my screen that keeps going up.
If only that was evidence.
Well, if you're watching over on Oz's channel, you want to head over to Modern Day Debate and help boost him up. You feel free. He's at war. He's at war right now with Iron Horse, so he needs every warrior he can get out there to help him fight tonight with Fight the Flat Earth, Iron Horse, and Real Offended. We really appreciate you guys. Let's move into that next round of Q&A.
All
right.
Come on.
So, Jupiter Adarman says, what would all of you say? Actually, sorry, we already went through that one. Let's just scroll down. JSS Tiger says, to FE, Admiral Byrd said there was more land on the other side of the pole from his approach to the pole that works on a globe. So, do you want to go there first, Real Offended?
Yes, not only just Admiral Byrd, but tons of explorers said that there are lands on the other side of Antarctica that are bigger than the United States, and we're talking about his first or second expedition. And he said that they had many expeditions lined up after that. He said every single country on the planet was interested in going over there. And guess what happened right after that? Right after that, they started NASA. They said, guess what? You know what? We're not going to Antarctica. We're going to up there. Look up. We're going to a place that you can never go, you can never reach, and it defies the laws of physics. That's literally what happened. They went over there. They found tons of resources, tons more land. And when they started to explore it, the outer space, the extra territory, the extra terrestrial, when they started to explore that land, they lied and said, oh, no, we're going up. And we haven't had one successful manned mission since. And they literally just drew a circle around you and pretended that it was the globe. Like I said, this is the Truman Show, all right? This is the reason why I use these examples, because I want the average person to be able to understand what I'm saying. Okay, if you've seen the Truman Show, if you've seen Attack on Titan, it's that simple. There's a group of people that were raised and born inside walls that they think this is the only thing that exists in the whole world. They were born generations in there. All right, so you guys were born generations in here. You have not been able to explore the outer land. They're like, oh, please don't go. I promise, because we don't want you to go because of your safety. But yet we'll bomb kids in the Middle East. Okay.
All right, you wrapped up there? Okay. Other side, if you want to respond, and then we'll give you the last word.
Truman Show and Attack on Titan are not reality. And I'm going to ask you for citations for everything that you just said, because literally all of that was a lie.
Yeah, literally a lie. And he contradicted himself. How did they go to the pole and explore?
Somebody should teach you guys what metaphors are.
How did they explore Antarctica and then find land beyond it? How did they go beyond the wall?
I think that's the whole point of the fact is that we can't get beyond the wall. And that's what the flat earth whole matter is all about, is that there may be some evidence that we've gone beneath it. And maybe sometime in the past there has been an opening come up in the ice wall where the odd sailor has gotten through. But basically, what's on the other side of it is worth protecting by those people with vested interests who don't really want ignorant, murdering earthlings like us to travel into their peaceful lands. We're actually held here in prison for a reason.
Okay.
You just have to.
How could they know there's lands beyond the wall if they can't get beyond the wall?
Last word.
Well, there are tons of stories of people finding certain channels. And as I explained with the precession of the equinox, as the sun moves, the ice, quote unquote, ice wall is melting. So those areas where there used to be ice. Sorry.
Please,
those
buddy.
areas where there used to be ice are no longer ice. They are melting because of the precession of the equinox. You understand? So that ice wall where it used to be is probably not so much of an ice wall anymore. And this would also explain the recurrence of floods, because if our world is constantly freezing, right, what happens when it thaws out? You're going to get a huge flood. This is also represented in the movie Ice Age. And I can't believe you guys are not intelligent enough to understand that when I make a representation, I'm not saying a movie is real life. I'm sorry I have to explain this to you. Like I said, I think I'm making it dumb enough, but apparently I'm not. Guys, when I say a movie, I don't think the movie is real. I don't think the cartoon is real, guys. Okay, I'm using it as a metaphor so I can represent the point that I'm making. That's what I'm doing. Okay,
it's his last word. It's his last word. Sorry, Oz. We can't yes and every time. We have to carry on. Matthew Vicendez says Iron Horse. The sun path looks different. The sun path looks different. Maybe he meant in the Arctic, because those are filmed further from the North Pole. The Antarctic video is closer to the South Pole.
I agree. That's a fairly reasonable argument. But even so, I still don't see why the sun itself wouldn't still be rising up overhead at midday like it does everywhere else in the world. Yeah, it's just staying strictly around the equator, the horizon, sorry. So it's like basically not even moving up and down in the slightest. I just think that's a very unrealistic expectation of what we should be seeing. And there's no reason why that would create a summer season, the closest thing to a summer season, which is generally an average degree of about 0 degrees in summer in Antarctica. So I'm still open to seeing more evidence for a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but I thoroughly believe I have a very good explanation for it.
Okay.
How do you know the temperature of Antarctica if no one can go to Antarctica?
Of course, people go to Antarctica.
All right.
There's bases.
Sorry.
How do you go beyond the ice wall?
You don't. You can't. It's impossible to cross. It's a frozen wasteland with some of the highest mountains known to mankind. We cannot get beyond it.
All right, Joshua Jamie asks, just to jump in here, we got another question. You can go to Alaska next April to see the 24-hour sun. So yeah, Craig, you were mentioning
it's always in the future. It's always in the future. We're going to do it.
I'm giving Craig the floor. This is not specific.
My bad.
So go ahead, Craig.
We've shown you the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. There's no evidence of anything beyond Antarctica, because there is no beyond Antarctica. And the claims of, oh, well, we know there's extra lands there when it's apparently impossible to go is just beyond ridiculous. The Earth has been explored every single bit of land on Earth has been explored.
I heard that on the Truman Show.
Me too. They've all been explored, Truman. Just stay here. Don't explore.
Have though.
Well, you're too late.
All right.
All the people in the crowd, listen, all the people in the crowd, right? If you are in the crowd and you are not even interested in exploring this idea, we know what team you work for. Listen, we know what team you work for. All right. If you don't, and you're just like okay with living your life and living and dying, Craig, I'm talking, Craig. You complain so much like a little girl about being interrupted, and here you are. Be quiet. Sir.
Hold on.
Be quiet.
Hold on.
Please.
The women on this channel don't complain nearly as much as all y'all. Hold on.
I agree.
I'm just joking.
I apologize to the women. No, I apologize to the women. We are way worse than them. This is true. We're way worse than
let's
them.
carry on. Danny Diesel says, everyone on panel, what's your 5-year plan? Thanks, Danny Diesel. I don't know if you guys want to take 15
as it relates
seconds.
to this.
I don't know.
Or just in general.
I don't know. Like if you just want to be personal for like 15
how about
seconds.
How about this? We should all be making a push to bring back airships. Okay, there's a reason why they faked the Hindenburg, because airships were a mode of travel that would allow us to basically stay in the air indefinitely. And then all these theories about the Earth would be thrown away instantly. We should all be focused on that in the next 5 years. That would solve the conversation once and for all.
That is not a personal 5-year plan. So Oz,
for me, it kind of is.
5 years from now, like
I'm gonna have an airship in 5 years.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you want to answer, is this a personal question?
You should also be a hemp farmer.
I don't know. Oz seems like he might be losing it right now. Are you okay, Oz? Okay, let's go to FTFE. Oz is having a good chuckle. FTFE, 5 years from now, are you still going to be under FTFE? Do you think you're going to be under another banner? Like, what do you think you're going to be doing?
We're still going to be batteries for the AI in 5 years, so I don't think it really matters, right?
No, you'll be mulch. We'll use you as fertilizer to grow fields.
Honestly, if you want to know what my plan is, I have a plan for my wife and I to both retire at 50, which is in 9 years' time.
Amen.
I'm going to use YouTube and my other couple of businesses to do that. And that's my plan, is to have a life with my wife and make sure my kids are happy. That's all that matters to me, is making sure my wife and my 2 kids are happy.
Yeah.
Spoken like a triptych.
I echo that. I was gonna say all I do is I do the modern day debate. I go out and I sing shows and sweat my butt off, and then I wake up in the morning and I have to go out with the chainsaw and cut down things when I'm not, doing my regular job. So it's a constant slew. I was actually saying to somebody earlier that I went to go and pick up a Vox AC30. I was telling these fellas about what a bombing deal I got onto it, and the guy looked at me when I went to go pick it up, because I'm pretty skinny fella, and he was like, "Do you think you're gonna be all right with that big amp?" And I said to him, "I got hillbilly strength." So like, hopefully that doesn't offend anybody in the live chat. All I mean is I grew up in the woods. You had to know how to use a chainsaw.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I got that weird hillbilly strength. All right, so $5.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. You guys got your 5-year plan. Go ahead there, Oz.
Okay, I plan on taking over for Fight the Flat Earth when he retires, and educating real offended Ross on the dangers of hydrogen.
The dangers of hydrogen. That's ridiculous. The dangers of the key component to all living life.
This is
the key component to all living life is dangerous, right?
All right, that was Oz's response, but let's just keep it brief. It's fun. All right, Iron Horse, do you got a 5-year plan?
Did Ross just say that the key to all living life is hydrogen?
Are you right, Craig?
Is water the key to all living life?
Yes, to me, but
I just want to know, in 5 years, Ross, Iron Horse, in 5 years, are we just going to be like sitting back on the Nova Scotian beach, drinking beer? What's going on, buddy? What do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'm going to have revolutionized the industrial use of hemp and start, growing the waterways. I think if we protect our waterways with hemp walls and keep on growing it, we will actually solve all poverty and all the problems, including what's so-called global warming. because all we need to do is preserve the water and let the land keep growing. And by building hempcrete walls, which eventually petrify into stone, we'll find peace on Earth. That's my 5-year plan.
Wow, I was going to say that's interesting that you bring that up. I wouldn't have expected that. I remember I did a report when I was doing a drafting course, and it was about hempcrete, and it was just becoming a thing. And it seems like it's been pretty effective where it is. But I'm also interested in like these. There's these new road designs that they're coming up with. But
Really?
yeah, apparently
Based on hemp?
apparently weed fixes everything. Yeah, that's the answer, right?
You got my vote, Ryan. You got my vote.
Oz is shaking his head no. I think Craig's all good. Matthew Vicente
Run
says,
against Trudeau, Ryan. Run against Trudeau. I'll vote for you.
no, I was gonna say that's one of the best things that they did. I imagine. You know,
But none of you are going to have a choice when I take over anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
we won't have a choice. That's right. As long as you keep things okay for us, I'm okay. You know, it's fine.
With every little minion.
Depends on how far, your empire extends, right?
Well, I'm going to be true. Not everyone's going to. You're just going to have to deal with that.
All right, Matthew Vicentes, we'll stop horsing around here, guys. Iron Horse says, to Iron Horse, if local sun created shadow changes, can you use these shadows to determine exact distance and zenith of sun? Sign rule should allow this.
To some degree, I believe so. Yes, I think that's what Eratosthenes actually did way back in the day when he knew for a fact that a certain place in Cyene had no shadow cast down at midday during, I believe it was the equinox. It's still a bit in dispute whether it was the solstice or the equinoxes, but I believe it was the equinox. And so then by measuring the shadow somewhere else, yes, that's absolutely how we determined that the sun was approximately 3,980 miles high on that particular day, which is how we determined the circumference of the stationary planar Earth, path of the sun, which is the equator. So yeah, there's definitely a lot we can look into as far as that's concerned. We just have to interpret the data from a more logical and sensible point of view rather than thinking we're hurtling through a vacuumless space like the spinning spaceballs thing.
Facts, you mean? Yeah, just ignore those.
All right, next one. Thank you so much to Matthew and Danny Diesel. We've had a lot of fun with your questions. Danny Diesel says again, everyone in the panel is Sofa King. We Todd did. What? What is he talking about?
So fucking retarded.
I think he's been phonetical.
Oh my God, Sofa King. Oh my God.
No,
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in you, Ryan.
fuck me.
I'm disappointed in
Yeah,
you.
sorry. Yeah, I didn't even use my child filter just now. We've been going for almost
You're making Canada
3
look bad
hours.
right now. All right.
Yeah.
You're making Canada look bad.
Well, I was going to say I got goobers moving around in the background, and
Okay.
go to bed. That's right. Anyways, Eric, master of Flat Earth, says, "How do you explain that over
Wait.
300 people have?"
Can I respond to that?
Oh my God.
If everybody in the panel's so whatever, you're watching it. Okay, go on.
Wow, Ozien's coming after everybody. Ozien's trying to make 0 friends this evening. No, I'm just joking around. Eric, a master of Flat Earth, says, "How do you explain that over 300 people has skied to the South Pole? They were able to explore Antarctica and see a 24-hour sun. They paid a lot for the experience. Are they all liars?"
Just like Ozien said, I think so. Admiral Byrd had said that he saw 24-hour sunlight. Now, this is something that is easily explained. Okay, nobody has ever seen a 24-hour sun. Okay, and that CGI ass video that Craig pulled up. Come on now. The Hobbit looked better than that. All right, The Hobbit looked more realistic than that video.
Can you prove it's
I believe
CGI?
those stone giants more than I believe that video you pulled up.
Well, that's just personal incredulity. You've got no evidence that it's fake. It looks pretty real to me and everyone else.
Craig, spare me of your banality.
You don't even know what that word means.
I know exactly what it means. It means you're repeating yourself. You're saying the same thing over and over. You're unoriginal.
Word means.
All right,
You're
let's carry on.
unoriginal.
Let's carry on,
Yeah,
fellas.
that is what it means.
All right, hold on one second.
It's
So,
I guess so.
So somebody is hold on one second, guys. We got more super chats coming in. Somebody's cheesing off at me in the live chat. Let me know what that I did that upset you. I hate when people are like, "Come on, Ryan," and I'm like,
Well, you're
"Come on,
Canadian,
Ryan,
that's
what? You know what am I supposed to do for you, Mr. Vague?" All right, Dark Star Bulldog says, "At today's day and age, is there does there exist a real photo of Earth from space?
Yes.
Of course. Craig owes me $100,000 off that.
Okay, let's let Craig respond because it is for their side.
There's millions and millions and millions of pictures of Earth from space. Himawari takes one every 10 minutes. Discover Satellite takes one very often. We have ones taken with a physical Hasselblad camera in 1969 and 1971. The question, why is there not a real picture of Earth, is just dumb. There's lots, but you guys go, nuh-uh. Ozien?
Yeah, I've done collages, like taking the Discover Epic photos to do like time lapses of those of Antarctica. Oh yeah, people ask, are there full pictures of Antarctica? Yeah, you just got to go look at pictures when it's daylight, like in December of Antarctica. You can see all of Antarctica in December from Discover Epic camera.
All right, so just real quick to comment on because look, I know, like I said, I always think when I say stuff at a basic level, everybody gets it, but they don't. All right. So banality, right here in the dictionary.com, the fact or condition of being.
You're correct. It means unoriginal. Who cares?
Well, hold on. Can I go? Ozien, can I talk? Can I talk, please? Okay, thank you.
Oh my God.
All right, so banality.
I don't want to be here till tomorrow.
I know you don't want me to be right, but I'm making Craig look dumb again. All right. Banality is the fact. Banality is the fact.
All right.
Can I not be interrupted?
All right, let him. If he wants to just define his word that he used earlier,
come
that you
on.
say didn't know.
You said I don't know what it means, right? Everybody in the audience are saying I don't know what it means. Okay, look, banality is the fact. Is the fact or condition?
Why do you keep interrupting, Craig?
Come on, Ryan. I never complain when I get muted. Come on, I never complain. The fact or condition of being banal or unoriginality. That's what it means, okay? And that's why I use that word, all right? Listen, through all of my debates, I hope that you guys understand. I hope you guys realize, even though I try my best to sound dumb so everybody can get it, I try to act like I don't understand things. But listen, I know everything, all right? I know you think I don't know anything about science, but I know everything about science, all right? I know everything about it. I know you think I don't know anything about linguistics. I know everything about it. I know everything about everything, all right? You're done.
All right, that's quite the declaration. If you want to respond there, FTFE.
I'm just playing, guys. We're having fun.
Everything he said about everything is wrong.
Correct.
Okay.
Mouth is moving.
Even Lord says, can any debater lift more than Aristotle's PR weight?
What's Aristotle's PR?
You tell me. I have no idea what you want or expect of us with this one, even Lord. So Oz is having a full-on nap right now, dad nap mode.
It's personal relative because all globers believe in personal relativity. They don't believe in reality. Everything is personal and relative. And
I don't think you know what.
Maximilia Villa says Ross's evidence is cartoons.
I didn't present any of that as evidence. I presented them as analysis. See, think about it. That person commenting doesn't even understand the difference between evidence and a metaphor, right? So the person in the who's commenting, all right, a metaphor is when I make a comparison. Evidence is when I postulate something as the reason. I never postulate those stories as the reason for why these things were happening, all right? So you need to choose your words more carefully, all right? You need to understand linguistics more when you pose questions. Then you won't look like a total buffoon. Then you won't look like a total buffoon asking a question that has no relevance to the conversation.
All right, over
like
to
Craig,
FTFE.
Still interrupting me. Remember, he had that whole crybaby soliloquy. Remember, he had that whole soliloquy, crybaby shit.
You've brought this up, Ross.
Ryan, he's filibustering me. He's just trying to filibuster.
If he's gonna,
I'm trying to have a conversation, and he's just over talking me.
I know,
it's all right.
But you're jumping into the meta, buddy. So like we've done this a few times.
I'm responding to the guy though. All right.
Ross, I'm just trying to tell you.
Craig, you lost already. Craig, you lost already. Give it up.
One second, Ross, please, buddy.
Trying to help you.
We got to try to move on.
Know that you are cutting out because you are too loud. You need to move away from your microphone when you're ranting like a crazy person. That's it. That's all I was trying to say.
Well, you could have said it when I was done talking instead of interrupting me. Like a civilized human being. I see why you live in Scotland and not England. I see why they don't let you in England.
He can hear
You're too misbehaved to be in England. That's why they sent you to Scotland.
Oh,
Ross,
he's.
I am trying to help you. When you are close to the microphone like that and shouting, nobody can
I am
understand.
trying to help you because nobody can hear you when you are shouting.
All right, both of you guys. Let's just carry into the next question, and let's just try to keep it. Let's try to bring it down. We've
I
only
was
got.
just trying to, I wanted to hear his rant, but because he's shouting so much so close to the microphone, it's just like.
Well, I won't shout if you shut up.
Well,
Lordy.
Ross, dude, listen to me.
No, I'm not listening to you. No, if you shut up, I won't yell. How about that? Don't interrupt me and I won't yell.
All right.
Don't interrupt me and I won't.
Hold on. Just for the sake of being fair, I'll just put you both on mute. Just so nobody gets upset here. We're just gonna carry into the next question, guys. Fates says anime isn't real equals flat Earth being real. So I think we just kind of explored the idea of.
The audience is letting us know how intelligent they are. They don't understand the difference between metaphors and evidence. All right.
All right.
You guys need to go read.
Going after the whole audience is not usually the winning move. Okay. Joshua Jamie says, people have done it. My brother lived in Alaska for years. I'm asking about you, Ross. Go to Alaska next April and see the 24-hour sun.
I'll let the other Ross go.
Sure thing. All right. Iron Horse.
Yeah, nobody denies the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. It's actually a very good proof of the flat Earth model. It's exactly what we'd expect. Again, as I kept saying earlier, is that the star trails themselves going in perfect circles from any latitude all the way to the equator still show perfect circles where they should be getting more and more and more elliptical and mimicking what the sun and moon do, but they don't. Doesn't matter how far away they are because it's the Earth itself spinning on its axis that should be determining the shape of the circles we're seeing. So
according to the globe rotating, we should see perfect stars. If it was flat, we should see ellipses. You are strawmanning the model again wrong. Ross, you're being wrong.
Not at all.
We expect to see perfect circles. That is what the globe model predicts. You're just being wrong about the globe model. That's it.
But you don't see the sun going in perfect circles?
The sun is not the stars. The sun is a lot closer than the stars.
The sun is a star. In your belief, it is a star. It's one of the stars.
Closer than the rest of the stars, isn't it?
Yeah, but
you just said the sun is not a star.
No, I said the sun is not the star. Not
it's the motion itself that gives shape to the star.
But the sun is a lot closer than the stars. So the sun doesn't do the same thing as the stars. Seeing the stars in circular trails is exactly what we predict on the globe.
You're telling me if I look into the distance at a mountain and I start spinning on the spot, that mountain should start moving perfect. Mountain should start moving in perfect circles. But the thing is, we want to move in perfect circles.
We got to move on.
They're just going to move across the sky, but the mountain's going to move in perfect circles so far away.
All right, last word there, Craig.
The mountain is not the stars.
We heard you the first 5 times.
The stars move in perfect circles because they're really far away and we rotate.
Because they're really far away.
All right, next question for Ozien has made a request. He wants to get moving on out.
I just want to finish my sentence, if that's okay. Yeah.
At least that's what I was gathering from what you were saying, Oz. If I get that right, you want to try to move through these a little quicker. So go ahead, Craig.
Finish what I'm. Yeah, thank you.
Well, people keep interrupting Craig, so.
Yeah, people keep interrupting, Craig. That's what that sentence was supposed to be. People keep interrupting,
All right, you're interrupting right now.
And Ross just did it again.
Get through this question. So, Craig, we'll give you the last word, and there are more questions for you guys.
The stars rotate, in the north around Polaris, and in the south around an area near the southern crux, because those are the areas in alignment with our axial tilt. Seeing the stars in perfect circles is the globe prediction. To say it isn't is a straw man. Ross is just being wrong. Next question.
No, we're actually understanding your model and explaining the particulars.
All right, going to the next question. Even Lord asks, what is more likely, a Nazi moon base or an underground Antarctic hollow Earth Nazi colony? Also, I'm watching the debate from Real Offended's wall. Walls? Either way, we'll welcome Even Lord. And so question. Go ahead, guys.
I want to say that. Matter of fact, can you repeat the question real quick? Shout out whoever that was who said it to watch from Mark. Can you repeat the question one more time?
What is more likely, a Nazi moon base or an underground Antarctic hollow Earth Nazi colony? Also,
A moon base, a base, I guess, would be more likely. Not that that's evidence at all, right? But think about this: what's more likely? More space that we're exploring a few thousand miles away, right? In a plane that actually follows the laws of physics, or are we exploring things that are so far away that no human will be able to reach it in one human lifetime? We're talking about thousands of light years away, which is too far for a human lifetime to even reach. Okay, so what's more likely?
And there's no doubt.
Hold on before you add on. Oz, you have some thoughts? All right, maybe Oz doesn't. He's just got a hand. He's got a face palm right now. Go ahead there, Iron Horse.
Was it for me or Ross?
I was just trying to say that yes, the Germans had a great amount of interest in South America towards the end of World War II, which would be because it's an ideal stepping stone on their way towards Antarctica, where they didn't find an underground base into the hollow Earth whatsoever. They found a passage underneath the ice, which allowed them to discover further outer lands. And I think I tried to bring it up before and didn't get quite a chance, but there is an old map of the world from about 1,000 years ago, which was published in the Hawaiian Gazette, which shows about 33 other continents outside of the stationary planet Earth.
I have a picture of that map right here too.
Exactly. That's a well-known thing. So it's not compelling proof, but it's definitely something that the preponderance of evidence that there is more land beyond Antarctica.
That map is that the evidence?
For real.
Yes.
That map is a real map. It's from a story. You guys, oh my
God. No
maps
are real. They're all made up drawings, Craig. You're not confusing anybody with this rhetoric. Your rhetoric is not confusing anybody. It's not even that good.
Ross, seriously, stop being so close to your microphone. Move away from your mic.
My bad.
Oh, God. Craig's still crying like a little bit.
I know. Oh, my bad, bro. Thank you, Craig.
Are you talking about the moon image that's inverted?
Nope. I don't believe in the moon map myself whatsoever.
Yeah, that was my thing. That was my thing.
All right, next one. King Ed V says, please. Yeah, we got another question. Please explain how a radar shows the Earth is a sphere. There are calculations built into it, taking into account the curvature. P.S. Retired Navy ATC. So did you want to start that one there, Oz?
Well, I was an AT1. So, hey, Chief. How you doing, Chief?
Same club.
Same club.
Keep on going. Keep on going. We're all working.
So I don't think it proves
people.
All right, so we're gonna give Oz the floor. Please explain how radar shows the Earth is a sphere. There are calculations built into it, taking into account the curvature. We're giving the floor to Oz.
Yeah, it proves it here because we have a shadow. So with aircraft radio, actually only has a range of like 30 miles. It depends on the aviation. Like all the navigation systems on the aircraft take into account Earth curvature, radar, or the attitude indicators, the INS systems. Now, the ATC might actually be younger than me. It might be used to newer systems. I don't know when they retired or not. So I got out of the Navy in 2003.
Come on, mate. You give Skash the wiggling again. Just get to the point and answer the question.
You got a radar shadow.
Get to the point.
Radar shadow. That's his answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any response, Iron Horse or Real Offended?
Good.
I'm ready to move on.
Cool. Succulent Succubus says, there are currently 2 stranded U.S. astronauts on the ISS. Are they inside or outside this magic dome, and why isn't the local sun frying them to death? Starting our next round of Q&A, guys. So we've got only a few questions.
You know what?
left.
I don't want to deal with this too much because they're not even confirmed that they're on the ISS. But I don't like to deal with this subject. This is not my thing, dealing with all the fake videos that people put out. Every picture, every video that gets put out could be fake. That's why I like to just stick with the science. What can we confirm? Okay? If it's not falsifiable, then it's not science. Okay.
All right, Craig.
So
I'd also like to say I have a very compelling video I've made where I describe how the ISS could be possible on the stationary planet Earth. And I'd like to leave that as my evidence for anyone who'd like to do their research. It's too complicated to explain right here, but it is entirely possible that we have maglev devices that work exactly as we'd expect, because we have things like the ozone layer, which O2 is, O3 is virtually frozen oxygen, and the HE3 layer is virtually frozen helium that's superfluids, and they are what we use for maglev levitation. And so we can have vehicles going around and around above us completely without needing independent, say, sort of the ignition type of propulsion that we normally believe like a plane, whatever uses. These things can exist basically using free energy. And yeah, we can have that.
And as I pointed out in that NASA document, the math actually depends on it not moving and being flat. So in order to put those satellites up there, if they are up there, it has to be flat, because that's the math that they use. They cannot use math for a globe to put a satellite up. So all of this, it's like 100 to 0.
Yes,
So,
they do.
that claim about you can't use a globe to put a satellite up is completely false. Orbital mechanics relies entirely on the Earth being a globe. Ross is getting confused between what an Earth-based reference frame is, and thinks for some reason that proves the Earth is flat. No, everything about putting stuff in space is based on orbital mechanics and the Earth being a globe and the physics of that in particular. Him just saying it says that the Earth is flat is a lie. It's a straight up lie. Modeling assumptions are not saying the Earth is flat. There is no NASA document anywhere that says the Earth is flat. And I will right now make a
I already showed one today.
$5,000 straight up.
Oh my God, cut it out. Craig, you don't pay bets.
If they can show me a NASA document that says the Earth is flat. $5,000 to any flat earther.
All right.
Well, there are at least 40 of them. There's a well-known documentary about that one.
Yeah, I just want to add, I want to end with this.
Model of the belief of the
No, hold on, fellas. We're gonna let Iron Horse in here. He's had the least time, I think. So let's let Iron Horse in.
Good thing he's a Nazi.
I think that we are going 66,600 miles per hour around the sun, which is your orbital speed, which Ozien completely denies. Oh, no, we don't orbit, but we are going about Mach 88.
Don't lie about me, Ross.
The fact is that the
Stop lying
ISS
about me, Ross.
10 times faster than a speeding bullet, but you believe the Earth is going 10 times faster than a railgun projectile. It's a massive difference between about a Mach 2.8 compared to Mach 88, and yet you think that thing can still orbit us going Mach 88.
All right, so Oz had some Oz, you had some thoughts there, so go ahead.
He keeps lying about me and what I claim because he doesn't understand the topic well enough. We are traveling in a geodesic in free fall around the sun. There is no change in momentum when we travel in free fall around the sun because relativity is true.
Well, tons of globe earthers disagree with you. Tons of globe earthers disagree with you.
You can analyze it using Newtonian mechanics, and it works also using Newtonian mechanics. Centripetal and centrifugal
5 seconds, Ross.
balance out because we're in a stable, almost nearly perfect circular orbit around the sun.
Okay, let's pass the ball.
It is technically an elliptical orbit, but is nearly circular with the sun.
Pass the ball.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we're gonna pass the ball over to Iron Horse.
Pass the rock.
Can I walk around a car at 10 miles per hour if the car is going 60 miles per hour? It's a simple question that there's no way I can orbit around that at the same distance from it the entire time while it is traveling 60 miles per hour and I'm only going 10 miles per hour. It's just a physical ability.
Fight the Flat Earth is trying to jump in here. Go ahead there, Craig.
Speed is relative.
Oh my God.
Car, you can be going, you have a tangential speed of 10 miles an hour as you're going around that car, but you and the car are also moving in a straight line at whatever speed. Speed is relative, and like Ozien said, neither of you understand the topic or physics enough to.
That's not an argument.
That's not. How can I be
Stop
going
saying
10
that.
if the car's going 60? That's
Again,
just correct. It's
is
absolutely
relative,
insignificant.
and
Do
neither
you
of you
feel how
understand
retarded
it.
you are?
Alright.
I'm saying.
All right. Everybody can't be talking. So Craig.
Okay, can I
Craig,
respond to Craig? Can I
Craig,
respond to
no,
Craig?
Craig
I
didn't.
hadn't
Craig
finished
didn't
what I
finish
was
his
saying.
point. Craig gets 10
Okay,
seconds.
when he's done.
No, when after I'm done, we're moving on to the next question. Speed.
Are we?
Yes, we are. Speed is relative.
Peter,
You can. Everything is relative to everything else. So that is as simple as that. Gravity makes orbits happen, and that is as simple as that. The Earth has a system gravity well. That gravity well orbits the sun. The gravity well includes the Earth-Moon system. The moon orbits the Earth within that gravity well. All of this is fine. All of it matches physics. You two
Smash
do
it.
not
5
physics.
seconds.
You cannot respond. What is the next?
All right.
Okay, I just want to say real quick. I just want to say real quick. Craig,
There's
come on, you're being rude.
not
You're being rude, Craig.
there's not really a last word here. Just 1 second, Craig. If you can say it right quick, 5 seconds.
Yeah,
we're
real quick.
moving on.
All right. I want to say I know everything about this subject. Craig knows nothing. I'm 100% right. Craig is 100% wrong. That's
Okay.
basically his argument
All
against
right.
me.
Let's.
They don't know they don't know about the subject. All right. Well, I know everything about it. Craig knows nothing about it. There we go.
All right. Thank you, Ross. Bill
Yeah, we
Tetley.
can all say that, Craig.
All right. So yeah, Craig, I just asked you to come off mute if you have anything else you want to say. But Bill Tetley, I think.
Sorry, I did have something else to say.
Okay.
Doesn't know because he's never studied. I have. It's as simple as that.
All right, Bill
He doesn't
Tetley.
know
Guys,
because I have a
respect.
PhD.
Hold on. You know, we've gone this far. I've done my best to try to keep you guys, moving along here. So just try to respect me here. We got a few more questions. Bill Tetley says, for the Rosses, this might not be the most respectful thing to say, but you guys can have an isolated moment to respond to Bill Tetley. So just hold your thoughts, Oz and FTFE. We'll just try to push on from here. For the Rosses, conspiracy theories are cheat codes for the ignorant rather than put in the work to learn. Convince yourself you're smart, not a sheeple, and can see through the BS.
That sounded intelligent, but it was the most unintelligent thing I've almost ever heard said on this platform. First of all, the word conspiracy theory has a meaning. All right, stop using word in colloquial terms just to represent something that you don't actually know how to say. A conspiracy theory is a theory about people coming together to conspire to do something. This is a conspiracy, us being on this channel right now. So maybe you should be more specific about what you're talking about, because there's tons of things that used to be quote unquote conspiracy theories that are true now. All right, so stop speaking colloquially when you talk to me, little boy. You actually have no idea what you're talking about. You sound dumb as hell. And I hope you take that personally. I hope you take it very personally. Conspiracy theory. No. Conspiracy theory is an easy way for ignorant people like you. This is not for you guys. Is an easy way for ignorant people like you. Is an easy way. Is an easy way. Is an easy way. Okay, be quiet then. Be quiet. Is an easy way for people like you. Is an easy way for people like you, that dumb commenter, to try to marginalize what people like me are trying to postulate with evidence. Okay, so I appreciate you for calling me ignorant, but it just shows how ignorant you truly are. Like people using the term word salad, right? Like if I use a sentence,
Ross,
and you say that it's word salad.
Away from your mic, please, buddy.
Okay. So if I say a sentence and you say that it's word salad, all that. If I say a sentence and you say that it's word salad, if I say a sentence and you say that it's word salad, all you're doing.
Why are you so stupid?
What?
It's an honest question. Why are you so stupid? Why can't you follow a simple command like move away from your microphone? Why are you so dumb?
Is this appropriate in your part of the world to interrupt somebody and ask them why they're dumb? Craig.
Why are you so stupid?
Come on, Craig. Be civilized. Craig, be civilized. Be civilized, Craig.
We're not going to hyperanalyze. Hold on.
Hey, pause.
No. We're not going to hyperanalyze what.
Well, he's lying about definitions.
Thank
first
you,
of
Oz.
all.
But I was in the middle of a sentence, and Craig.
Ross, take yourself off mute again. I'm going to boot you out of the room. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Oz.
Super chat question.
Reel us in.
First place.
Wow.
Can't even honor the super chat question. because he's making an equivocation fallacy. First of all, he got the definition for conspiracy wrong, and then he's equivocating the definition for conspiracy theory with conspiracy, so he even gets that wrong. So I think we should just move on. He doesn't understand the topic when it comes to conspiracy theories. Conspiracies are crimes. This isn't a crime. He doesn't understand.
People use that word to marginalize people when they're talking truth. That's it.
He doesn't understand the topic. He's completely confused.
All right. King Ed
I'm
V,
completely confused. I know.
King Ed V is asking a question, guys. So let's carry on. Did Ross just say water compresses? Does he know water is incompressible?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't understand anything.
That thing we
Questions
talked
for
about when
Ross.
we're moving towards the hypothetical center of the Earth, and that's exactly what I was saying. Is water is incompressible. There's actually a really cool video where a bloke drills a hole in some sort of metal object and compresses water with one of those what do you call it? Those hydraulic pumps, and it makes the metal thing explode. So water is actually one of the strongest things that cannot be compressed. I mean, that's why I say when we get towards the hypothetical center of the Earth, that the compression of our water would cause us to absolutely explode. That's pretty much why that submarine imploded at depth of water, because water is incompressible.
Okay. You guys want to move on? All right. It seems like this would be a good point to move on. Excellent. Icy Spin says, will you all pledge to agree with results of TFE, the flat Earth?
Yes, absolutely 100%. If the final experiment does not show what we expect it to show on the globe, I will rename my channel to Fight the Globe Earth, and I will join Globebusters. That's how confident I am in my position.
So what is TFE? Can you explain right quick?
The final experiment is an experiment.
24-hour sun in Antarctica. They're gonna film it.
Hold on. We're
but you talk too long.
Hold on, Craig, please.
Ross,
I'm putting you on mute. Don't take yourself off mute. I don't want to boot you.
Once again, Ross is too stupid to understand. Don't be close to his mic. The final experiment is conducted by Will Duffy, where he is funding fully for 2 people to go to Antarctica to view the 24-hour sun with Antarctic Logistics Expedition. Currently, Dave McKeegan has accepted and has been funded, and it has been offered to both Jeranism and Jeranism and Austin Whitsitt, and they are possibly going to accept. There's also one other Glober that's been self-funded. This is happening in December, and we'll answer the question as to if there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica or not.
All right. Any thoughts on the other side there, Iron Horse, and then we'll give the other side the last
a logical explanation. I've always said it has a logical explanation. The way we observe the stars going the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere is a logical explanation for what happens on the flat Earth. And so a 24-hour sun is not going to prove a spinning space ball hurtling through a vacuum of space. Simple as that.
This proves flat Earth.
If there's not a 24-hour sun, I would be asking to do a debate for flat Earth on the flat Earth side.
Yeah. All right. Let's carry into the next question. Maximiliano Villa says, Ross, is there anything in the world you like hearing more than your own voice? Oh, Maximiliano Villa, you're just not making friends tonight. But
I hate my own voice.
You got to specify which Ross you're talking
to.
Yeah,
I don't like hearing my own voice. I just like my voice a lot more than everybody else's voice. That's just what it is.
Move away from your microphone.
Why can't I'm gonna keep just to see you get mad? I might get closer. I might get closer just to see you get mad. That's what it is.
Nobody can understand your muffled nonsense voice when you are close to the microphone. Move away.
Yeah. All right. Relax though. All right. Calm down, man. Like you're too emotional about this.
It's incredible.
You're very emotional about this. Calm down.
All right. As much as I enjoy watching you guys have your back and forth, muty. I'm sorry, fellas. We're gonna move on. Don't take it personally. We just got to try to keep things reeled in and making sense here. Personal comments about people's voices, unless you want to tell me you think I'm a great singer, that's great. But let's try not to make comments about people's physical appearances or the way that they sound, and focus on what they say. Joshua Jamie.
Quite weird Canadian with a stupid accent. Wait, sorry, what?
Wait, you think I have a stupid accent? Wait, I don't know. I missed that.
No, I was just being mean for the sake of it.
Oh, I can't envision this. All right, Thunderstorm says, "Are aliens real and are they here?"
Yes, but they're from the outer space, the extraterrestrial that's on the outside. That's on the outside. Yeah, where physics still applies. Not defying the laws of physics, not traveling 90 million miles away. Just very basic. Another continent, just like we observe here. Doesn't that make more sense than flying to some galaxies 90 million miles away? Of course it makes more sense.
No, because it's not there. We've checked. Right, to answer the question.
You checked? You didn't check.
I went to Antarctica and I checked.
I went to Antarctica, so I checked the whole continent.
Yeah,
Look at this guy. He's trying to hide land from you guys.
The entire thing.
He's trying to hide land.
The entirety of Antarctica. So I checked.
He wants to keep you here as a slave. Craig wants to keep you here.
I checked. You're wrong. So to answer the question, yeah, it's ridiculous to think that aliens don't exist in the universe that we have. In our galaxy alone, there's trillions of planets that and so many of them could have the ingredients for life. Have aliens been here? I don't think it's possible. Ozien?
From the stationary planar Earth point of view, I don't believe there's any such thing as terra firma above and beyond the physical plane which exists beneath our feet. And you've got all the burden of proof to try and prove otherwise.
All right, over to Oz. I think that's fair. We haven't heard from you in a bit, and yeah, also Iron Horse. We're going to try to get you in here on this next one.
Aliens on Earth, I believe it's likely physically impossible that aliens have ever been to Earth.
Yeah,
90 million miles away. Hell no.
They
did exist.
They probably saw how we treat each other and said, you know what? If that's how they treat each other, count me out. I'm kidding. All right.
The galaxy is too young, and they would be too far away.
I was trying to make a joke to just carry on. Sorry to cut you off there, Oz. Joshua Jamie says, I've said Alaska in my comment twice, and you keep saying Antarctic. I don't know if they're saying that to me. Maybe I accidentally
they must be
said
talking
that.
to you.
Maybe I mistakenly said that.
I think they point out that there's 24-hour sun in Alaska.
Alaska. Now that has been seen, right?
Joshua says, go to Alaska next April and see the 24-hour sun.
Well, that works on a flat Earth because it rotates above. We're closer to the North Pole, so.
Not in all of Alaska. Alaska's huge.
It is.
And I actually have a fairly
possible on the flat Earth to see it in Alaska, but it's impossible to see a 24-hour sun on a flat Earth with a.
That's not true, Craig. That's a straw man.
No, it's not. It's absolutely impossible.
It's absolutely a straw man.
No,
really good
geometry.
I it's with flat earthers, and they told me I'm right, so I'm not strong.
You have some straw falling out of your pocket.
No. I checked with flat earthers. Hold on, one sec. I checked with flat earthers, and they told me.
Not with me. You didn't check with me. You didn't check with me.
No, I checked with real flat earthers.
So you're debating me, though. That's the problem. You're debating me. Straw man.
All right, Ross.
You don't even understand your own model. Then.
Well, I understand my model perfectly.
Okay, so
straw
FTFE,
man.
You said I checked with flat earthers. Let's carry on with your thought, and we'll get the last question.
Could I get 10 seconds when he's done there? Because I'd like to just.
I've checked with flat earthers. I've checked with many flat earthers, and I've been told conclusively. In fact, I have many clips of it that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica is entirely impossible. Now, I'm pretty sure Oz was trying to say something.
Is that true, Oz? You were trying to inject, or all right? Over to Iron Horse then. If you didn't have something.
Yeah, I'd just like to suggest that when we look at our model suggests that the sun gets closer and closer towards the flat Earth to make the southern summer, seasons, and as it gets higher and higher, we have the northern. And if we look at what happened with the just the natural preponderance of human development, the further and further north we go is the most likely place where we find people getting fairer and fairer skin. We've got the blue eyes and the blonde hair coming from the north. As we head further and further towards the equator, the skin gets darker and darker, and the hair and everything gets darker and darker. But as we go further and further south, what we do not see is the equal and opposite of humanity naturally being preclusive to becoming more and more fair again. What we actually see is places like Tasmania and South Africa and whatnot. The natural tendency for human survival is to have darker and darker skin. This would be a very natural and normal observation on a stationary planar Earth, where we should expect an equal and opposite of the more tendency to have fairer and fairer skin as we went further and further south, because we need to develop more and more vitamin D to survive. But the opposite happens because the sun is actually closer. So this is just another preponderance of evidence that proves the stationary Earth model.
All right, go ahead there, Oz.
Debunked by anthropology.
Hold on.
Anthropology debunks you.
Wait, Ross. We're letting Oz in here.
Your microphone.
Where's all the land at, dude? All the land's in the north. Like the land's not.
Well, that's true.
South.
Don't go far south, but at the same time, we still go a fair way south, like Ushuaia, plus degrees south.
And evolution human evolution happens over a lot longer periods of time than migration of humans happen.
Exactly,
humans
but that would
migrate a lot quicker
people further
than
south.
human evolution happens.
And yet fair-haired people in Australia are more inclined to get sun cancer and all that sort of stuff, because we don't have the natural tendency to survive in the sun like Indigenous people of Australia have traditionally done for thousands and thousands of years.
But yet they survive in Australia.
We do, but yeah, we got a much higher chance of things like skin cancer and other things, and we tan a lot more.
But yet they adapt. But yet they adapt to the environment, because one thing that humans also, as a survival mechanism,
back it up, Ross,
is to adapt to environment because we have a brain that adapts to environments.
It's got nothing to do with our brain. It's just the physical makeup of our biology.
Yeah, it's our anthropology as it relates to our environment. This is how our body works.
Ross, move further away from the mic.
No, we can hear him good there. That's a good stop, Craig. That's a good spot.
Craig is trolling me the whole time. I know. Listen, when Craig is losing, filibuster city. Just filibuster city with Craig.
Filibuster.
Some of those Tasmanian Aboriginals and some of the South African people had some of the darkest skins known amongst us, and yet they're getting further and further away from the equator, where it would become an advantageous disadvantage to survive.
Has nothing to do with the sun and the location of the sun.
All right, before we get
it
into
has everything to do with the location of the sun.
Before we get into some territory that
it has everything to do with it.
Hold on, fellas, we're getting to some weird territory here as far as what YouTube might think. So RN asks, actually, water does compress, but only slightly. Oh, that's why the Titan submersible is crushed in less than a second instead of 9.8 meters per second. Last question on the floor. Then we'll move to closings.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that's because, a lot of the globers don't understand how the pressure gradient works. Obviously, when we're at the bottom of the ocean, that's where the pressure gradient is going to be most. And as you get closer and closer to the surface, obviously it's going to get less and less until you reach a point of zero. Well, the same thing happens in air as well. We're actually at the bottom of the sea of air in our atmosphere, and that is why we exist as we do, and we have air pressure and survive as we do. But as we get higher and higher and higher, it'll get to the point where even our atmospheric or our water molecular makeup is going to start boiling, and we could no longer exist as we got higher and higher. So yeah, pressure gradient thing is actually yet another good proof that the globe doesn't have a reasonable explanation for, except they just go to the same old God of all time, gravity. That's all they've got.
Oh, so there is an explanation. So there is an explanation.
No, that's not an explanation. Gravity. That's a cop-out. And we talked about this in our moon landing debate ad nauseum. We talked about this in our moon landing debate.
There is an explanation then. It's called gravity.
Okay, over to Craig.
There is an explanation. So there is an explanation. It's called gravity. And you also said there's this.
I have debunked gravity already.
You also said there's this layer of ice of ozone. There's this layer of ice of helium or whatever that would block the sun, so we should be frozen to death. Your model's all over the place. You guys are all contradicting each other. Every flat earther has their own friggin' model of reality. It's like, I don't know, like let's just make it up as we go along. Like, that's not how science works.
That's what you
Science
think.
is
You have a word with
intersubjective discipline of knowledge where we work together as human beings to figure out
5
how
seconds.
reality is objectively true. We don't make it up as individuals.
Okay, Craig, you've been waiting a hot second there. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah. So just to answer the actual question that was proposed to us, water under normal
Craig, we
conditions,
can't hear you, Craig.
Ross, just
under
please,
conditions,
buddy.
behaves like an
Come
incompressible
on.
fluid because its compressibility is
Why?
very, very low. At room temperature and atmospheric pressure, you need to apply about 10,000 atmospheres or 10,000 times the air pressure at sea level to compress water by about 1.8%.
All right.
That's the answer to the question.
You can put it into a vacuum and it will boil. It will turn into vapor.
That wasn't the question.
Any last thoughts over there,
Well, it is
Real
that-
Offended, before we move into our closings?
No, we like I said, we talked about this ad nauseum during our moon landing debates already. I've already dealt with all these, and their only thing is gravity, 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 gravity. And like I've done so much work going through all the evidence, going through all the work by Tesla, Faraday, Oliver Heaviside, James Clerk Maxwell, all the people that have invented our current electrical system. All of them do not follow this fake gravity thing that they talk about. They use belief in the ether,
5 seconds.
right, and the electrostatic nature of our world and universe to invent our modern electrical system today. All of our technology depends on this, what I'm saying,
All right,
not what they're saying.
We're gonna move.
Technology depends on what I'm saying.
Ross,
this is a fact.
We're gonna close it
What
because
he
we're
said
gonna
is a
move.
lie.
Hold on, Craig.
Everyone knows it was a lie.
Craig, we are going to actually move into the 1 minute closings, and you have the first minute on the floor. So if you want to let us know, I mean, I know, flat Earth is your jam. You love debating that topic. But if you want to let us know if there's anything else you really like to hammer, and you might want to visit in the future, let us know. Along with also letting our audience know where they can find you. If you're up to anything, going on recently, that'd be cool too. I know I'm throwing so much at you. You won't be able to remember. And finally, your thoughts on tonight's discussion.
Well, thank you for having me on. My name is Craig. I run the YouTube channel FTFE. You can find me at youtube.com/FTFE1 or over on X at FTFE Official. I enjoy debating against the flat earthers, but I will also debate moon landing deniers, general science deniers, people that say God is a good thing. I'll debate all that stupid nonsense. As for tonight, Flat Earth gave zero evidence of any of their claims, said a bunch of stuff, denied physics, said that gravity isn't real, went nut a bunch, and just misunderstood the entire topic altogether. Me and Ozien both presented oodles of evidence for our claims, and nothing was presented that even debunked it. They simply do not understand enough about physics to understand reality. That's why they're flat earthers. They're not stupid because they're flat earthers. They are flat earthers because they are stupid. Ozien?
All right, Ozien. Same thing. Let everybody know where they can find you. If you got anything going on, anything you want to debate going in the future, and thoughts on discussion tonight. So 1 minute on the floor. Let's hear it.
Ozien, I'm going to be doing an after show on Matters Now. Go check it out. The same thing. I mean, we presented evidence. I presented evidence as it dealt with stars that all of a sudden become magically invisible. If something's 14 degrees from the southern celestial pole, if you go 15 degrees north of the equator, it disappears. Ooh, magic. Ooh, just they say, oh, it's azimuthal grid of vision or whatever. No, it's not. It's because the Earth is a globe. Everything we see on the Earth has to do with the shape of the Earth being a globe, the rotation of the Earth, and all that. Everything they appealed to with motion and stuff, they are confused about
5 seconds.
The difference between motion and acceleration. And with that, come check me out in the after show. Thank you so much for hosting it. And I'll debate religion, just not evolution. I'm not an expert in evolution. And I've become an expert a lot on physics. I didn't know shit with my first debate when I debated Iron Horse in the first debate on Flat Earth. Thanks. or
All right, well,
geocentrism.
well, let's carry on. And yes, you're all welcome. We welcome people to Modern Day Debate. So if you want to have a chance to present your case, definitely hit us up. You can comment on these videos. We just crossed over 300 votes in the poll, so I'm going to close it out here because that gives us a really good clear number on who voted for who. So right now we have 34% for FTFE. I should have went in the opposite order because, that was the highest one. You're supposed to go the opposite way. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead. Do your whatever. All right. So Ozien and Iron Horse, though, you guys were really battling at 25 and 24%. And then we have 15% for Real Offended at a total of 304 votes. So let's carry into the other side with our poll closed. And Iron Horse, you went second, so you will be first. 1 minute on the floor. Same deal. Thoughts on tonight's discussion, where everybody can find you, and other things you might want to debate in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I was one of those ones who voted for 15% for Real Offended. I thought he did a great job. Very proud of what he did. He represents the flat Earth as well as anybody else can. I think the Globers presented nothing. They talk about us presenting nothing, but what did they really present? Did they show any evidence that we are really moving Mach 88 around the sun, moving 670 through the galaxy? I don't think so. They had nothing for how the atmosphere could work, for how water could be anything but level. It's always hilarious to watch them struggle. You can look at them sort of crying in their glasses now. I'm going to drink a lot of Globe tears tonight. It's going to be a great celebration. You can find on my channel. I'm also mostly do a lot of stuff on Facebook. I use my real name, Ross Thatcher. I don't hide behind pseudonyms like a lot of the glurfers do.
5 seconds.
All right, yeah. Thank you for hosting me and appreciated the entertainment today.
All right, well, you're very welcome anytime. It's always a pleasure. And once again, I try to do my best to keep things fair. You guys are a very active, lively crew, so it's you definitely kept me busy, and that's fun. So, Ross, Real Offended, you have 1 minute on the floor. Same dealio. Let everybody know where they can find you, anything you'd like to discuss in the future, and thoughts on discussion tonight, of course.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Ross Iron Horse. Anybody with that name, I can automatically tell is a good person. Ozien and FTFE, these guys are truly hilarious. As I said, all of our modern technology depends on the things that we have been discussing today, including the ether, okay? The fathers of our modern electrical system, Tesla, Faraday, Oliver Heaviside, James Clerk Maxwell, okay? Charles Produce Steinmetz. These are the people that are responsible for our modern electrical grid.
I'm just going to turn it down.
I keep doing it. I'm sorry. These are the people that are responsible. I really mean what I say, okay? These are the people that are responsible for our modern electrical grid, and it depends on the things that we've been talking about. They are hiding land. We can discuss later why they're doing it, but the point is that they are, okay? Like the Truman Show, like Attack on Titan. I'm sorry you don't like my analogies, but I like to make things very simple, all right? I think that's it, okay? So, look, they are hiding land on the other side of Antarctica. Antarctica is realistically melted by now. That's why I brought up the precession of the equinox. Okay, and all of our modern technology depends on the Earth being a level, non-rotating plane. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you to all of our speakers, and sorry, Ross, for just injecting there. Just to let you know about the mic situation.
No, please. I'm not. I don't do this that often. So
no worries. It's sometimes hard to figure out audio gear. I mean, I'm still rocking this 1953 Shure microphone here. It should really be hanging from the ceiling. It's way too microphonic to actually bring anywhere because it just picks up so much feedback. But using a real mic is superior. But honestly, you probably could just relax and sit back in your chair and
it's
everybody hear you
that.
good.
Remember, I blew out my old microphone. Me and FTFE have debated a bunch of times, and I had the old mic, and I yell a lot. That's why I never get upset when you're right. It's not debated because you owe me $120,000. You feel me? Anyways, you guys look, follow me at Real Offended. If you have any issues, I'll be emailing you guys. You know what? Me and Ozien are still going to debate about tides. Don't think that I forgot that. I do have my notes ready now if you want to get that debate going.
Oh, well, you'll have to let us know what you guys have figured out. But yeah, honestly.
Debate tides, gravity, basically.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They're all intertwined.
We could spend hours on it because
Right.
the tides cannot work on the globe ball whatsoever. And we have a logical explanation of how they work on the stationary planet Earth. So I think that is actually a very good topic that needs to be brought up and debated, is tides.
Well,
As soon as
judging
he
from
said it,
what
I accepted right away.
judging,
I'm like, oh,
hold
absolutely.
on.
I'll
All right,
definitely debate tides.
we got to close things down. Oz asked to leave like more than an hour ago. He was like, we can't be here all night.
No,
Well, I thought you were in a bit of a rush. Sorry, you said you're doing an after show.
No,
Never mind.
I
No,
was just
no sympathy for
being,
you.
Annoyed
He just-
with the whole
And Griff.
yelling.
No worries. All right, so we'll close it out though, guys. Just we have been going for a while, and I do appreciate you. Let us know if you guys want to rendezvous and maybe have a debate, maybe in a month or maybe 2 months. And let everybody have a nice fresh palette for what we might be discussing amongst these speakers. So if you enjoyed what you heard from any of our speakers tonight, check them out in the links in the description. If you're listening on podcast, which all of our debates are uploaded within 24 hours to Podcast Forum, you can see all of our speakers linked there. So once again, if you like any of them, go check them out in their own spaces. Definitely we encourage that. That's what we're here for, so you can keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. We will see you next time on Modern Day Debate. Cheers, everybody.
Go grow a beard, Craig.
Hey, I might pop over there and chat with you for a little.
Wasting time, all of my life, living in a world of aggression. Tyranny's mixed with self-oppression. What am I to do but tear away when I'm boiling at the top? Try to find a way to fight the fire, smoke derived from the minds of liars. You call the shots as you bow your heads, and the march never stops. The stars could be free, but this insanity bends you right by the knee. Running in circles now for something that can't be found. And I bet as you hit the wall, the rain starts to fall. You can run away, sing a tune that's true. I'll be beside you. Who's the one that holds you down? Push through there in your way, anything to make you stay. Cut the strings before your life starts to decay. From tears of blood, regrets of laughter, turn around as your heart beat faster. Your hollow shape as the faith begins to drop. Shelter can find your thoughts of suicide. It's hanging down by the fray. Running in circles now for something that can't be found, and there's no time for today. You prayed away the world. I will rise against you. Until they're gone, nothing can matter at all. Insanity bends you right by the nail. Running in circles now for something that can't be found. Out of breath, smash the wall. The water consumed all. You prayed away that the world would be untrue as it rose against you. Did you think it would always be for free? Now sit back, watch it burn, burn, burn forever.